like that? That's how I always reaffirm myself. Give me another one.
Tony Bruno.
See? Give me another one.
Tony Bruno.
You say it real fast now?
Tony Bruno.
Nice. You say it real slow now?
Tony Bruno.
Can you get deeper?
Deeper.
You're a bad man. You're a bad man.
Tony Bruno.
Tony Bruno. And now.
Oh, Tony Bruno.
Stop it!
Here is Tony Bruno.
How do you really feel, Tony?
I feel good, and you should too, to quote the great Pat Croce. Hello, everybody. It's What Up Wednesday. What up, Robin?
What up, Tony Bruno?
What up? What up?
What up?
Robin? What up?
What up?
It's Hump Day. It's Crossing Streams Day. And most importantly, it's Get Rid of Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney Day here. I have to rip. I don't get political, but this is my city. This is where I live. This is where I make a living. This is where I grew up. And if it wasn't bad enough that last week this city became a national disgrace again because of our mayor and our corrupt district attorney, the mayor, who looked bad against the Philadelphia Police Commissioner, Richard Ross, who made him and the DA look like absolute putzes, which they are, now suddenly has resigned, which no one, I mean no one who has any semblance of knowledge or decency would buy. Richard Ross was the best police commissioner in this city in decades. And all of a sudden, the guy who's been to every mass shooting, every nightly crime scene in this city while the mayor sleeps and hides because he's up for re-election in a couple of months, and the DA who keeps releasing violent criminals back onto the streets is just a dweeb. And they force out the police commissioner and then have the audacity today to have a news conference and suggest that they're looking to have better diversity in the police department.
Well, let's not start sucking each other's dicks quite
We're not going to do that yet. Two white guys, by the way. Jim Kenney, white guy. Larry Krasner, white guy, help push out a black man and claim they want more diversity. If that's not the most hypocritical, insane shit you've ever heard, well, wait till tomorrow when more hypocritical, insane shit goes down in this city. How the people in this city, and again, I don't care about any of the candidates. I don't even know who's running against this guy. The fact that this guy, I'm glad this is happening to him now. That everybody who can see right through these phonies who have been running our city into the ground. And I'm glad Jim Kenney is being exposed, not just here in Philadelphia, but all over the country, because he looked like a buffoon last week. And he, a cop hater, and his district attorney, who is obviously, without any question of a doubt, a cop hater, are out there pushing out an African-American police commissioner to claim diversity. Is there anything more embarrassing than, well, yeah, every day. The mayor does a better job when he hides and nobody gets to see him until he goes out and cuts a ribbon or walks down a closed street to show everybody how safe it is. It's ridiculous, man. And again, I don't know. There's another guy running against him. I'm not saying, oh, vote for this guy, vote for that guy. You vote for whoever you want. But if this city doesn't wake up to the sham show that is Jim Kenney, then you deserve what happens to you. You deserve the people that you keep putting into office. And you can say that at any level. Jim Kenney is the Antichrist. Oh, no, that's Donald Trump. I forgot. I can't keep track of what I'm supposed to be ripping today. But anyway, that's enough about that. I just had to get that out of my system because I saw that story last night when I was watching baseball, flipping around the channels, and I see it appear as breaking news on my feed, on my Twitter feed, and I see that the Philadelphia Police Commissioner, who you remember last week at the scene of the crime when one insane man, a career criminal, released multiple-time gun felon, was holed up in a house after shooting 6 cops and trying to kill more. And Richard Ross was there to keep the peace and make sure everything was under. And then the mayor comes in, and then this DA doesn't even address the media. He's standing there laughing at a hospital while police officers are inside being tended to. That's what we have in this city, ladies and gentlemen. My city. I can't go fix Washington. You can do your hashtags and try to run Trump out all you want. Just go look on Twitter every morning. Don't worry, there's at least 5 or 6 hashtags. And if hashtags are going to make things better, then go hashtag your life away. I prefer hash browns to hashtags. But that's enough about that. The other big story, of course, is we'll get to football. There's a lot of football, baseball. We'll cover it all for you today. Miss Robin's got the great updates. We got now a controversy with Dancing with the Stars that we must address on the show today.
Oh, no.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Dancing with the Stars is now Tom Bergeron, the pretty-voiced, pretty boy with the nice voice who pretty much hosts any job they'll throw at him. Now all of a sudden is all outraged about Dancing with the Stars. Don't worry, Ryan Seacrest will take that job if you don't want, Dave. Got any more funny video shows you can host? And I like Dave Bergeron. I don't know him. He does a good job. He reads a prompter nice. He cleans up nice hair.
You know,
he's got all the accoutrement
got the
necessary
good qualifications
to be a game show host in Los
All right.
Angeles. We'll get into that. But ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
I
maybe
was
Steve
thinking-
Harvey can take it over.
Well, yeah, Steve Harvey
Because
does.
it makes-
That's right. Let Steve Harvey host Dancing with the Stars
Yeah.
now. We need more diversity on there. They got a white host and a white chick
And I
who
say
has
this-
and a white woman who has 50 jobs doing sports and entertainment
Yes.
shows in what's her face
Yeah.
at Fox.
Aaron Andrews.
Erin Andrews, who I like, by the way. I'm
Yes.
not ripping her. I'm not
and
a
I
misogynist.
and I say that because I love Steve Harvey. He could take over
you got
everything.
two
as far as
white
I'm
people
concerned.
hosting ABC. You want to be woke? You got 2 white people hosting Dancing with the Stars. Fire their asses. Bring in Steve Harvey and bring in, I know you can bring in
Who?
Holly Robinson Pete,
Oh, yes.
my home girl.
Yes.
Put her in there. You want diversity, ABC? You want to stop being racists like our Philadelphia mayor is?
She can even dance.
Yeah, she's great. There's my recommendation to ABC. I know ABC executives are listening to the show very carefully. They just sent me a $53 check yesterday. Disney ABC.
Oh, it's your residual.
Not my residual. That is my dividend check.
Your dividend.
For the massive amounts of ABC Disney stock that I own.
Oh, that's not for Don't Say a Word?
No. That's not an ABC movie. That was that was a Fox movie.
Okay.
No, I don't even know who made the movie. All I know was I get checks every time it's aired for like $6, $7 here or there. That adds up eventually. By the year 2028, I will have earned probably almost $1,000 for my bit part in the movie Don't Say a Word. Don't say a word because I still have to pay taxes on those, Robin.
By the way, congratulations to K Bryan 96. Just subscribed for 3.
How many months?
In a row. 3.
No, 3.
It's his 3-month anniversary.
Beautiful. Happy anniversary, and welcome all of those people who are checking in today. I don't normally go on to rants about politics on this show, but the local scene here is what I care about because
That
I
was
walk
early.
the streets.
That was like right off the bat.
I pay my taxes. I drive around. I take friends and family. We just had AJ in San Antonio. I'm proud of my city. I'll take people around and show them the great parts of the city. And then I just walk around City Hall and say, don't go near there, even though it's one of the most historic and amazing buildings architecturally. Unfortunately, the inhabitants of that building should be locked out and not permitted inside anymore. But anyway, we'll get into other stuff today. I had to get that off my chest because it's been bothering me because it's a breaking story. You know, the mayor just had a news conference. I wonder if he took any questions or just read from a prepared statement that his enablers gave to him. The fact that he said we need more diversity when he just forces out an unbelievably competent. That's what happens in these banana republics. You find somebody who's competent and he's not part of your clique, you got to get rid of him. And I don't believe for 1 second that the police commissioner decided to resign on his own. This was an absolute scam job, an absolute hit job by the frauds that run city government in this banana republic for the last 67 years. All right, now let's get on to the important business, Robin. Let's get on to the business, yo.
What up?
And I want to remind people,
Yes.
please share the show. Share early, share often. That's how our numbers go up.
Share and share alike.
Because it's amazing how many people still don't know. Like
I know.
I
I get Twitter feeds. I get
All the
stuff
time.
on Twitter all the time. Hey, Tony, Hey, I used to listen to you. I said, why aren't you listening now? Because they don't know.
Yeah, I know.
And it's all about grassroots organizational
Right.
action.
Yesterday, we were just talking. I had somebody on the show who said, I was just on my Twitter and I saw something cross my Twitter feed.
Yep.
And somebody posted about, and I didn't even know you were back doing a show. So that's how it proves that when people share the show, when they shoot it out there, you never know who's going to see it. So share early, share often.
Exactly. Just don't bring Cher impersonators in. Although they actually look just like Cher now. Have you noticed? The Cher impersonators who are dudes actually look a lot like Cher. Why do I hear knocking and people? It sounds like somebody's walking around in the house.
Oh, is this what you were hearing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I was tapping my fingernails on the desk.
Why?
I
Who
don't
are you,
know.
Rush Limbaugh?
I was just doing. It was a.
You get mad at me if I make a noise and then you're tapping on the desk?
I didn't even realize it was. I was.
I
Doing
hear
it.
tap, tap, tap.
Sorry.
Jesus, Robin. I'm thinking that there's like some hoot. I'm thinking that the mayor is sending his goons over here with an inflatable rat to come down and take me out. Will you stop tapping on the desk?
Sorry.
You ripped me for filing my nails.
Let me tie my hands behind
I don't
my
make
back.
noise when I file my nails.
Yes, you do.
By the way,
You did-
K-Bride
and
96.
one, it makes noise and it makes it look like you're jacking off because you're doing this.
No, I don't. I hold it up.
So the
I hold it
people
up
can-
like I work on CNN when I don't like something. I just file my nails, or, the tiny violin stuff that people do when they don't give a shit about anything. Meanwhile, K-Bri, who just re-upped for 3 months, said, I love Banana Republic. Great chinos. That's great chino knowledge right there. Robin, you have chinos, right? Those are the... Oh, there's the other bang.
Damn.
Wait, it's coming again. One more time.
See that one?
That's
that
creepy.
one sounds
That's
like
scary.
it's coming
because
from outside.
there's no speakers up there where that's coming out of, but it sounds like it's a speaker, one of those quad speakers where you hear the left channel, the center channel, and the right channel when you have like a really great system on your TV where it's surround sound.
Yes. Dolby.
Dolby surround, baby.
So Stevie V even warned us. He says, I'm going to walk on, get ready, and I missed that. Otherwise, I would have been prepared. But it sounds, because it comes out of this
No,
this
it's
ear
3
first,
channels.
and so it literally sounds like it's right there.
It's
Somebody's
on
not
the
gonna
right
win.
side, the left side, and then the center channel is last. And it is the best walk-up, except because it gets you every time.
Every
Even
freaking
if you
time.
anticipate it coming. It's like when you're on the Tower of Terror
Yes.
and you know it's going to drop the ride.
Yes.
Or you're at any amusement park and you know what's going to happen next. But when it happens, it still scares the crap out of you. Even though you know, that's the deal with that one. Meanwhile, we got a lot of football stuff. We got baseball talk, and we've got football talk, and then we've got a Larry Bird update today. And I know all you Larry Bird fans, all you Boston Celtic fans, all you Indiana State fans, anybody who loves Larry Bird and who doesn't, even though he's the hick from French Lick, self-described. Could he call himself the hick from French Lick right now, or would he be called a white supremacist? There's no doubt Larry Bird was a white supremacist, because when he played, he was supreme. He was awesome. Meanwhile, let's get back to the business. Yeah, stop the hammering. Baseball last night, not much changed, really. I mean, the Braves won, Phillies won. They went up to Boston, put up 3 runs on your Boston Celtics. Now, the Red Sox. They may as well be the Celtics because we'd like to thank the Boston Red Sox for participating. Trevor from the 203 went up there wearing his Nick Foles jersey, drove from Connecticut to Boston, not that far of a drive, packed house at Fens last night. And the Phillies won a game that most people and fans were wondering how would they blow this one. On the road, up 3-0 in the first inning, then unable to do anything after that against the Red Sox bullpen. And then all of a sudden, 2-run bomb, 3-2 game. Luckily, Aaron Nola went 7 innings, so the Phillies bullpen only had to go 2 to try to keep this game from happening. And luckily, the Boston Red Sox, taking a page from bad Little League baseball, ran themselves out of a potential tie or walk-off win in the bottom of the ninth with 2 of the biggest boneheaded base-running blunders you will see outside of single-A ball in some rural town in America. Even single-A players don't run themselves out of a potential walk-off win in the bottom of the ninth the way the Red Sox did last night. But I want to thank the Boston Red Sox for participating in this year's American League playoff and wild card chase. Pick up your commemorative, hey, the Patriots are right around the corner, and maybe the Celtics will be good this year.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
That's what you got to look forward to. And, of course, the Boston Bruins still stinging from choking away the Stanley Cup to the greatness that is the St. Louis Blues. Play Gloria. Play Gloria, Boston fans. Play it loud. 43 days to hockey action, yo.
Play
43
loud,
days.
Play it proud.
And I got to give up love to my boy Joe Quills. Joe Quillen, who was here last night doing Funkin' Fantasy with Luigi.
He did have a good shirt.
Because T-shirts, it's all about T-shirts now, right?
Yeah.
It's all about that bass, too. But Joe Quillen wore the greatest T-shirt last night.
And I didn't get it.
And Robin didn't get it. I had to explain it to her.
Because I wasn't in my head, I just was not pronouncing it
I even
correctly.
did a Boston accent on the show yesterday. And the shirt says, Red Sox.
Well, here, but pull it.
Yeah, you have the picture?
It's on
Excuse
your
me
phone.
while I whip it out. I'm not going to be able to pull it up now, Robin.
Here, I'll take it. I'll pull it up.
I don't want to mess it up.
Give it to moi.
We'll pull up the picture. I took a picture of it and I sent it to Dean last night. But I waited till the Red Sox lost. I didn't send it when it was 3-0, knowing that if the Red Sox had come back and won the game, I'd never hear the end of it. So I sent it to him as soon as the Red Sox ran themselves out of a potential winning situation in the bottom of the ninth against Hector Neris. And then I said, Joe, I got to take a picture of that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the shirt, and it's a classic. What does it say right there? Can you see it, Robin?
Boston Sox cock.
Boston Sox cock. Boston Sox cock. You get it? You get it now, Robin?
I do now.
Boston Sox cock. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's a shirt people in Boston will actually be wearing in a couple of weeks once the Red Sox crash and burn.
See, because I was thinking that it was like the pronouncing Boston Sox, like.
Yeah, but it's a play on words. The socks, the Sox, and the cack is the best part.
The cock.
Cack.
The one word.
Cack.
I got tripped up by the cock.
Come on, Robin. You've been living now on the East Coast for 11 years. How many years now? Since 2011. And you don't get the bad accents of South Philly, Boston, and New York?
I was close. I just wasn't quite there. I got to give myself a bump.
And that was Dean's penance for the way he treated Jose yesterday.
I know.
An absolute
How
disgrace.
Rude.
Almost as disgraceful as our mayor, Jim
I had
Kenney.
to call Jose after the show, check up on him, make sure
Exactly,
he was okay.
man. We take care of family here.
And I told him, we take responsibility for what happened completely. Tony and I, it was our fault for not having set up the guidelines.
I know. That shit happens. It happens on game shows. It happens on network television. It happens on live TV.
But it was practice.
Practice.
It was practice.
Meanwhile, let's get back to so we told you the baseball story. Of course, in football, there's so much stuff going on, Robin. And the epicenter of football so far this year. Wait, before we get to that, you're right, Robin. I want to get this out of the way. One of the other things that's all over the place today is this King of Israel hashtag this morning. I saw that this morning, King of Israel, because I always look at the hashtags.
And you kind of wonder what
And I'm like, King of Israel, what does that mean? And then I looked up the story, and it was, I guess, the president was talking about another guy who was a friend of his, Wayne Allen Root, who's a big gambling guy, a big Republican, conservative guy who does talk shows now. And I guess he, on his TV or radio show, called Trump the King of Israel because he's done so much for Israel. So I guess Trump recounted that. And then, of course, they ran with the, Trump says he's the King of Israel. Hashtag impeach. And so that's what happens every day, and they want to do it, go ahead and do it. That's what makes America great. You can still do that and misquote everything and say whatever you want and call for whatever you need to make your life feel a lot better. And I saw King of Israel. And I was starting to think about the famous kings. You know, Jim Rome was quoted as saying, calling me the king of radio.
Yes, he did.
Now, did he get ripped when he called me the king of radio once? Did they mistweet him and hashtag king of radio? Saying that I proclaimed myself the king of radio? I did not. That's taking another quote and then attributing it falsely. Because it's not my style to proclaim myself the king of anything. Except maybe the king of pizza. But there already is a king of pizza pretty much in every city. Especially here in South Philly. How about the king of steaks? There's a lot of kings of
Yes,
steaks.
yes,
Right?
yes.
You're going to see Pat's is the king of steaks. You know that? Pat's and Geno's. Pat's logo
Is the king of
Pat's
steaks.
the king of steaks.
Correct.
Then you got the king of comedy.
Yep. There's been several of those.
You got
There was a movie King of Comedy.
The kings of comedy, I
yes.
think. And then, of course, don't forget the mattress king.
Correct. The Mattress King.
The kings of swing. And my favorite king, because this is one of my favorite songs, Robin. The Kings of Pain. Well, actually, it's the King of Pain. And it goes like, why is it not playing, Robin?
Hold on.
There we go. Sing it, Sting. Mattress King. Not Billie Jean King, the Lion King. Bernard King. Dr. Martin Luther King.
Of course.
The real king.
So wait a minute.
And not Budweiser, the king of beers.
Tony, I have a question for you.
Yes, wait, let's get a little, I need a little sting just to get me into a better mood now.
Okay.
I'm in a great mood, by the way. All right, sing here. Not the king of Queens. On 24 hours a day
No.
on various cable channels, yes. Not King Vitaman, have breakfast with the king. Remember when we... King Vitaman.
Smoothie King.
Oh, yes.
Who,
Bill Romanowski's product in these Smoothie King stores.
Now, Tony, I have a question.
Not Larry King, who just dumped his wife of 22 years.
Who's younger than him and still beautiful, but at the...
I have the reason why it happened. I have inside sources on this
Oh.
story. I do, Robin. You know me, I don't just make shit up.
I know.
I'll have a Larry King update
Okay,
today.
we'll come to that.
Not the king of Prussia.
But Tony, if Jim Rome called you the king of sports radio, and you self-proclaim yourself now because of that as the king of sports radio, then would that make me the king and I?
Let's see. If I'm the king of radio, then I would have to have a queen.
Okay.
Not the queen of cock. Cack. They're up in Boston, I think. But I like that idea. I could call myself the king and Robin is I.
Yes.
Not I Robot. And I love the king and I, Robin. You know I'm not a big musical guy. But when I think of one man, the great king and I.
I'm not sure of what I absolutely know. Very often find confusion.
You know, whenever I think about
I concluded long ago.
about Yul Brynner,
In my head, there are many
you know,
facts
you
that
rarely
make
think about him
sense.
singing. You think of him, you know, in,
Yes.
in biblical movies and gladiator movies. And then you forget that he was in The King and I.
I don't even
And he
think
was a hell of a singer.
and I don't even and a dancer too.
He could do it all, man. Unfortunately, he smoked way too much.
Yeah.
But who hasn't?
But I don't even I don't think that The King and I was the only musical that he was ever in, was it?
I don't know, Robin. I'm not big. You're the musical expert here.
Yeah, well.
Shall I tell the boy as far as he's able to respect his wives and love his concubines?
Not New Queens of the Stone Age, no.
His
Shall I tell him
wives and
everyone is like the other, and the better one of two is really neither.
you kind of remind me of Yul Brynner.
Yeah, except if I shaved, then if I got cut, because he never had facial hair. He was clean.
He was always clean. Yes.
And of course, he was in Westworld also, but he
Yeah.
didn't sing in Westworld.
No.
He was one of the robots.
He was one of the robots.
Who turned on the stupid customers, the rich assholes who went in there to try to kill them all the time. And they said, screw that shit. I'm Yul Brynner. I'm going to shoot your ass right out, Westworld, bitches. You know what I'm saying?
I need to see if he was ever if he did anything else.
Well, you look
Brenner.
up Yul Brenner's IMDb page, Robin. Anyway, that's not King Kong Bundy, and everybody's remembering. And, of course, King Midas, because they fix mufflers real good, Robin, over there. Remember, did they get rid of the king at Midas? It used to be Midas mufflers. Now it's
Yes.
Midas centers. You notice all the
Right.
places that were just tires or just muffler
They had
repair.
to diversify, Tony.
And
They had-
Firestone now does everything.
They had to
They'll give you a
diversify.
lube job. You go in there, Beto O'Rourke will change a tire real fast because using a regular, using a regular wrench. But you see Beto working the zip gun. That sucker can really change a tire. In fact, he's going to be on the NASCAR Truck Series this weekend, trying to tell all those people to go to NASCAR truck racing and NASCAR, they're racists, because that's the way Beto rolls right now. Meanwhile, let's get back to the business. So anyway, the other big story in the NFL, well, the big story yesterday with the Cowboys, there's a couple of them. But the one story that pretty much anybody who follows football and looks at this, Jerry Jones signed one of his star players yesterday, and everybody's, wow, was it Zeke? Was it Amari Cooper, who, by the way, is hurt now, has plantar fasciitis, and is not going to play the final 2 exhibition games, but should be ready to go. He's looking for a new deal.
You've had that. That's painful.
Yes, it's horrible. Dak, Amari, Zeke, no, they weren't signed. Jalen Smith. Remember Jalen Smith at Notre Dame? Great player. The Cowboys took him in the second round of the 2016 draft. Comes in, gets hurt, misses his entire rookie season with a knee injury. And so yesterday, Jerry Jones re-signed Jalen Smith, who after missing 14 months with a severe, and he had nerve damage too. He didn't just hurt a knee, he hurt nerve. He couldn't even walk, Jalen Smith. Because of the nerve damage associated with the knee injury that he suffered last year. Great kid. And so what happens? He comes back and plays 32 straight games after that horrible injury, and his deal was up. Actually, it wasn't up. Jerry just said, I want to make sure this guy's taken care of. He's here all the time. I don't know if this is sticking it to the other guys, because he and his son said, we're going to pay those guys. Those guys are going to get deals. He said, there's still a lot left in the pie, when you cut the pie up. But not as much as there was, because they took care of Jalen Smith,
right,
who's one of their best young defensive players. And the guy who said he said all the right things too. Said, I want to be a Cowboy for life. So they signed him to basically a 7-year contract, $35.5 million guaranteed. So he'll get cut a check for $35.5, and if he plays out the length of the contract, it'll be worth like $64 million. And good for him. That's how you reward players who show up. And I'm not saying Zeke shouldn't be rewarded. It's not like Zeke's not getting paid.
No.
It's not like Dak's not getting paid. It's not like Amari Cooper's not getting paid. Those guys want new deals,
right,
even though they have current deals. And so then 2 days ago, Jerry Jones, who's always accessible to the media, somebody was asking him a question about, where, Dak Prescott, or Ezekiel Elliott, who's still down in Cancun or Cabo San Lucas working on his own. And so he jokingly said, when a reporter asked him, what's the latest on Zeke? He said, Zeke who? And now there's T-shirts that say Zeke who. There's actually a billboard here in Philadelphia on I-95. Somebody actually created a billboard.
No.
I sent you a picture of it.
I never sponsored that at all.
Somebody went up and this wasn't somebody with a graffiti artist. Somebody actually had a professional billboard put up on I-95 north of the city, the Zeke who thing, just taking shots at Cowboy fans. And he had the ACL and LCL with Notre Dame and the Fiesta Bowl. I mean, this is a kid who worked his butt off, Jalen Smith. So there ain't even the most ardent Cowboy hater can't say, Jerry's a jerk because of what he did. Jerry did the right thing. He took care of a guy who got hurt, came back, worked his ass off, and plays well. Now, I'm not saying Zeke doesn't work his ass off or Amari before the Cowboy fans come after me. I'm not saying Zeke doesn't work hard or Dak doesn't work hard or Amari Cooper doesn't work hard. I'm just saying Jerry Jones owns the team. And before I hear he's not, that's a slavery mention. No, it's not. Ask Jalen Smith. Ask Jalen Smith if he feels like he's a slave to Jerry Jones, who wrote him a check for $35.5 million.
Yeah, I think last time I checked, slaves weren't paid.
No, and especially not $35.5 million. So anyway, that reference, you can throw that out the window. I'm setting this up for all the anticipated, Jerry Jones, man.
And also, it's like he's the owner of the team, not of the
player.
players.
Exactly.
There
He
is
signs
a
the checks.
difference.
He took the chances. He had the stadium built. That's how it works. It's like when you work for Comcast or any other big corporation, you have a boss. You may not like the boss. You may not like the way your company treats its employees. And you know what your choice is? You can leave and go work somewhere else. but the boss is still the boss. If we don't have a boss, well, I don't have a boss. I'm the boss of me.
That anybody who's familiar with the Mays and Aton show.
Oh, we got to go live now. That's right. It's 1:30
knows
already.
that whenever we bring on a guest, it's usually like Bob from Crossing Broad just joined us, or anybody else that we bring on. If it's a week outside of this next person, of course, the next two people, of course. But when we bring on a guest, they have no idea. There's almost like a sense of nerves coming in, like, where the hell are these two guys going to take it?
Right.
And for the few rare moments that the listeners get to hear us in this position, because we have no idea where the hell Tony Bruno is going to take this thing. Every week.
Right.
Except for just a warning tweet. He sends a warning shot ahead of time.
Yeah. He always puts out the warning tweet. He considers himself the king of radio. I want to get into that. But the king will be with us tomorrow at the Great American Pub at 5 o'clock for the big extravaganza. Okay? So you got to come out on the rooftop, Great American Pub in Conshohocken.
Yeah.
You're going to get, somebody's going to win tickets to all 6 NFC East games for the Eagles, home and away. Tony, welcome aboard. What's going on, man?
I'm not the king of Israel, Harry. I never proclaimed myself that, but Jim Rome is the one who called me the king of radio. And so, therefore, don't misquote me. I'm just quoting someone who labeled me the king of radio, Jim Rome.
Wait a second. Now, I have it on good authority that Benjamin Netanyahu did call you at one point the king of Israel.
No, he called me the king of cheesesteaks in South Philly when he came to town, because, he went to school here, Benjamin
He's
Netanyahu.
a Cheltenham guy.
Yeah,
Right,
Cheltenham.
yeah.
Didn't he go to Penn? Didn't he go to the Wharton School?
I think so.
He used to call your show. I used to hear all this I used to see all these rave reviews about the Bruno back when you were doing updates with Willard every 5 minutes.
Exactly.
It was awesome.
But he never called me the king of Israel. He did call me the king of steaks, but that's Pat's is the king of steaks. And then you got the king of pizza, where there's like 50 of those. You go drive around. I'm the king of pizza. No, I'm the king of pizza. The king of Jersey
you also
pizza.
have the Prince of Steaks.
The Prince of
Steve,
Steaks.
right?
That
Yeah,
is
Steve.
great
Yeah,
Prince
right.
knowledge. You got to have the hierarchy. You got to have the queen.
That's
Who's
right.
the queen of steaks, by the way?
Is there a steak spot in the Delaware Valley that has a woman's name to it? Like, is there a Roser steak?
That's a good question. I'm going to have to go driving around the city and do an update on that.
I think that's a great point. I've never noticed one.
Because Steve is the prince of steaks. Pat is the king of steaks. Gino's is not a mistake. You like that one?
No.
Not a
I'm
mistake.
not- that might be Jim's. Sorry.
And
Bad
Mama's,
joke.
of course. Mama's up on Belmont Avenue. Still my favorite place.
That's as close as it gets.
We've eaten, all of us, I'm sure, have eaten way too much of Mama's.
The Mamas, you got to split those in half.
Those-
I mean,
those
you
can't
can't
eat
eat a
them.
whole one.
Not me. I get the full baby. I go the distance.
yeah?
If I'm going to put 50,000 calories, and I only do it maybe once or twice a year, I'm not going for a couple of slaps of, just pieces of meat and then a bunch of onions and then stinking cheese whiz on top and call that a cheesesteak. That's a Bobo Fugazi cheesesteak. I'm sorry.
Somebody ordered pepper. I'm sorry, Miss Robin.
I was saying I can't even fit the mini in. I mean, it's just
At Mama's?
no.
No, she's talking about me, I think. But that's another story. That's personal. We can't get personal on this show. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my God.
Let's get into that more when we're on break.
I know. It was too easy, Harry. It was like...
Now, you set out a bunch of stuff on your Twitter account, right? Now, again, we have to hit everything up here.
At Tony
It's
Bruno
at
Show on
Tony
Twitter. Make sure you
Bruno
follow.
Show right.
Exactly.
And then the Twitch account, Bruno Show Live.
BrunoNation.
BrunoNation Live. Come on, Tom. What's the matter with you, man?
Come on, man.
People
Well,
rip you
that's
on my
my
Twitter
Twitch
feed, and
today.
I always have your back.
I know, man. Well, I got yours too, brother. I'm sorry. We're back on Twitch, so I'm trying to find it. Finding it via Twitch is more difficult than finding it on your Twitter account. That's the problem.
No, it's
But I have
not.
it
You
up
just
here now.
download the Twitch app, and then you go twitch.tv, BrunoNation Live, and boom! It's right there, as Frank Caliendo would say. And I know you guys were talking about that earlier. Is that not great? How great is Frank Caliendo?
It's amazing.
I thought it was awesome. I know Aton would have hated it.
Well, it's not that I don't. I like Caliendo, and I think we've all had a chance to interview him, and he's funny, and I think his Gruden is one of his better bits. But it's just that Hard Knocks is so devoid of actual substance right now that it's just John Gruden platitudes and then people making fun of John Gruden platitudes.
Well, the only thing with less content is the NFL preseason.
Exactly. You're absolutely right, Harry. By the way, we will be there before the Eagles' final home preseason game tomorrow night. So we'll be the significant substance matter before you watch the final preseason game and a chance to win tickets to every Eagles home and away NFC East game. I mean, has there ever been a better
about
prize
that for a
package
prize?
in the history of giveaways?
I
Never.
mean, you've been in radio a long time. Now, where does this stack up?
This has got to be. This is number one. I'm not making this up because people give away tickets to certain games, and then they give away tickets to maybe at the end of the year. You get a couple tickets to go to Sausage Fests and all the other fests, Music Fest, Fantasy Fest down in Key West, which I like to go to every September.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that's the Fantasy Fest I'd sign up for.
Exactly right. That's the real one, the original. Don't accept any cheap duplications or copycats. But anyway, no, this is an amazing prize. Because, a lot of people set their, I'm going to go to Miami. They look at the Eagles schedule and they say, I'm going to go here, and they plan their road trips, which is cool. But how many people can say, I got tickets to go to Dallas, Washington, New York, and playing those three teams again here at the Link in Philadelphia? That's 6 tickets that are pretty tough to get.
Now, what does the average fan who may win this do? Do they take the same person? Do you use this as an opportunity to gain brownie points in favor with other people? Like, if you're a single guy, do you set up 6 different dates? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
you're not taking some bro with you. You're not taking you got to impress somebody. This is a prize where you take somebody important. You don't take some, stunad off the street who wants to be there 7 hours and start drinking and tailgating, and then you'll get your asses thrown out or beat up if you get too intoxicated during the game.
Now here you got to plan it right though. Like
Yes.
you take a woman to an away game because then you have to spend the night.
Oh,
Then you got to spend the night.
that's
Yeah.
brilliant.
New
That's
York.
brilliant, Robin. That's right. You
Right.
take the
Well, yeah.
schlub. You take your schlub friends here to Lincoln Financial Field,
Right.
and you get all liquored up in the parking lot 7 hours before the kickoff. But then when you go on the road, you act a little more dignified.
Exactly.
And you say, hey, babe.
Wait a second, though. Wait a second, though. New York and D.C. are driving distance. What happens if you take a female with you? You're a guy, wins a prize. You take a female thinking you're going to get an overnight stay, and she says, you're driving me home.
No, you
gotta
arrange
take
it
a
ahead of
shower.
time.
Then you
Then
find a
you can't
different
drive
woman.
home. Yeah.
Then you find a different woman to take to Washington and New York, and you take your favorite one to Dallas, where you're going to fly down there.
No, this is what you
Well,
say.
right, right.
This is very simple. You say you want to take her out to dinner, and you're going to be responsible because you want to have a nice bottle of wine, and you don't want to put her in any danger by driving afterwards. So you got a nice hotel room, and
Exactly.
that's how you work it.
Exactly. See, Robin,
Yeah,
that's why we have to have a female point of view here. You know,
Correct. 2 double beds or a king?
no, you got to get
Now,
king.
you go king.
You gotta
You
go
got-
king.
no, you get-
No,
gotta
no,
go.
no, no,
The
no.
onus on her.
You get the 2 double beds.
No, you don't, Robin.
Yes, you do.
No, you
No,
don't.
No,
I knew this would be a Miss Robin, I vehemently as somebody who has done this rather successfully, I vehemently disagree.
No, but see, this is how you do. You give the impression that you're being incredibly magnanimous and
Right.
and then she goes, "Wow, he was thinking of me."
Let's upgrade. But the problem is on a
I'm with
football
Robin on that.
on a
Yes.
football no, but you say, hey, I got double beds. Unfortunately, the hotel just called and said because of a lot of groups that are coming to Dallas to watch Eagles Cowboys, so all they had was a king left. All they had was a king mini suite with the mini bar. Is that okay? And what's she going to say? No? What's she going to say?
Might say sleep on the couch.
I know. See what you want.
Yes, and to be fair, there's a hierarchy to it, or a not even a hierarchy. Sorry, there's a chronological element to it, right?
Exactly.
To where you don't open up with it and say, "Hey, by the way, can you come with me to Dallas?" Yes, I can. Great, I've got a king size bed. Like there are steps to it.
No, you don't do that.
So,
No,
to
you don't
to
do
Ms.
that.
Robin's point, if you're going to lead with the beds or open up in the early conversation in the
Two
bed,
doubles.
I
No.
agree. Then yes,
Yeah.
but I think you can get to the point in which she's not writing down on paper a binding piece of paper that says yes, I'll have sex with you. It's somewhere in the middle of not knowing what the sleeping arrangement is to that, and feels
Exactly.
comfortable about getting the king size.
Well, by the
That's all
way,
I'm saying.
you're not taking somebody you just met in a bar. You're not just saying, hey, or on Tinder. You're not going
Well,
on Tinder and
I
swiping
know.
right and saying, okay, listen, I just won tickets to go to all the Eagles home and away games. But Dallas is a nice road trip. You know, we drive to Washington, drive to North Jersey. But the Dallas thing, hey, maybe we get, maybe
Tony, if it's Tinder, you don't even bother with a hotel room. You just go in the car.
No, you're not driving
Don't
to Dallas.
underrate the random Tinder road trip, which is, hey, I've got a car or tickets to go somewhere, and I'm looking for someone to come with me. And then that person who you've matched with and saying, okay, I'm ready to go. Don't underrate it.
Now, you do have vast knowledge when it comes to this.
I'm telling
deep knowledge.
Ocean City, Maryland is not that far away. Okay? So I'll leave it at that.
By the way, we need to let everybody know tomorrow.
We already mentioned it. Tomorrow they were talking about it.
Reminding them while we're still on the radio.
Conchi, baby, Conchi. Rooftop, yo.
Great American Pub on the rooftop.
On the roof. The roof. No, the roof will be lit, but it won't be on fire because that would be a violation of the fire code and stuff.
Right. Then we'd have to all leave and go out in the street.
Not Fire Island.
Yeah.
We'll stay away from there.
You're damn right.
All right, the show continues during the break on Twitch.
That's right.
At BrunoNation
We're
Live.
already watching ourselves on Tony's channel. It's great. BrunoNation Live
The
again.
Blue Show is coming up next, ladies and gentlemen. The Blue Show. Stay tuned.
Oh, I can't wait for this. And I owe Mike Gill an apology. That's coming up in the crossover.
Great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Listen to Mays and Aton anywhere.
Will you stay focused? Can you focus on something to start today's show?
Download the 97.3 ESPN mobile app now. 97.3ESPN.com/app. This is the play-by-play home of...
Exists, huh?
That's so funny that you're having to tell Aton to concentrate. Stay on topic.
Oh, isn't that great?
Oh, yeah,
Well, what is this, Harry? Do you always end up with the same kind of partners?
All the time.
Maybe it's you, Harry. Maybe it's
Yeah,
you.
maybe
Maybe
it
it's
is.
not
I
your
have to take
partner,
some
pal.
ownership. I think it's Harry setting the bar way too high.
Jesus.
No, he's got a Pro Bowl jersey from McNabb on here.
No
I
way.
What
see.
year was this?
Let me see.
Yeah.
It's the only year.
Well, what year was it? I don't remember.
No, it was 04.
Oh, 04. Okay.
I believe it. It says it on here.
Yeah, I just saw it. Who the hell wears
in Hawaii?
Who the hell wears a? Now, if you had a Nick Foles, remember he was the MVP of the Pro Bowl.
Correct.
Right.
How do you not have one of those, Aton? What the hell's wrong with you, man?
Okay, here's the thing. I don't own any. I've never been a jersey guy. I've never really worn any jerseys. I own a Predators jersey, but that's because it's a completely different story. It was given to me by the Preds when I was down in Nashville doing stuff, and it's pretty funny, but I don't know if we have time for that.
No, we don't.
The only other jersey I have is this McNabb jersey, and my grandfather, who gave me this, not knowing that, I don't wear jerseys, got me this jersey thinking it would be cool and special.
Is this story over soon?
That's the only thing. It's the reason why I have it. Like I never bought a jersey. I don't wear jerseys.
We're not condemning you. You don't have to worry about going outside. I know people don't like McNabb, and I'm not into that group stuff, that bullshit
Well, I
group
don't wear
think
it
stuff.
outside. I just wear it for the broadcast.
But that Nick Foles winning the MVP at the Pro Bowl produced two great sound drops that we
Exactly.
used to use, Tony.
How's everybody doing? Let's make some noise.
Let's make some noise. Come on.
Let's make some noise.
By the way, I have to give you criticism on your camera angle there. Harry's almost cropped out. You need to angle it
Really?
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the
Well,
paneling,
it'll be better
though.
when
I
we
like
go
the
into
paneling
the
in the
studio.
back.
The problem is that now you can see the stairs, and people are already accusing us of doing the show in my mother's basement.
Hey, we're in our wine cellar. Just call it the
Yes.
cellar. Don't call basements are out. That's old school. That's wood paneling and the pool table and a dartboard and checkerboard ceramic tile on the floor, or not even ceramic.
Well, we got wood paneling.
Well, hold
I
on,
know.
now,
I love the paneling, but it's
now,
white.
Now, hold on a second. There is a little wood panel, but at the same time, I put a picture up at Shander Show on Twitter of what the new studio looks like, and Harry wanted to wait until Monday
to use it.
Yeah, you got to have some accoutrement on the back wall. I mean, look what we have. We got wine.
We do. It's up on the back wall.
No,
the new
we don't
We
have
got
it.
Hennessy. We got all kinds of stuff here. Awards. I got a signed Bud
I
Light.
haven't won any awards.
I got the Bud Light official beer sponsor, Play Glorious, autographed aluminum Bud Light can signed by Craig Berube. I mean, that's some legit shit right there, boy. That's some
now,
shit.
listen, I got a Donovan McNabb Pro Bowl jersey. What do you want?
Do you have a signed picture of Mayor Kenny in the?
Yes, I do. I got
cellar?
Jim Kenny, and I got the DA Larry Krasner, who says that I'll get a get out of jail free card if I got a 3 felony minimum. If I commit 3 felonies in Philadelphia, I will get a get out of free jail card 3 times if I bring Krasner back as the DA and vote him back in.
Unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
It's ridiculous.
Is that the guy you wanted to go after? I saw the tweet.
No, I go after the mayor every day because I pay his salary.
Oh, okay.
I pay his
I thought
salary.
it was something new.
No, it's a daily thing with me,
And you know,
he pisses
Tony
me
is
off.
now, I think it's the 4th or 5th time that when Mayor Kenny reads the hate tweets every now and then, he makes fun of them.
I'm like, I get 3 of the top 10
Yes.
Jim Kenny reads his
One
hate
minute.
tweets.
1 minute.
It's ridiculous, man.
He always reads Tony's. It's very funny.
Our buddy T Jacks New York says they look like they're broadcasting from the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Now, wait a second.
DMV, yes.
I've been in the DMV. There's no stairs. You can't go upstairs anywhere. They'll shoot you. You go past that line.
Plus, you guys are working, so it's certainly not like the DMV.
That's right.
And I got to tell you, though, the last time I was over there, it was in Norristown. I had a great experience.
Yeah, I did too. I just gotten on my new license renewed up to here in South Philly on Oregon Avenue. Tremendous.
Yeah.
They do a tremendous job.
Yeah, actually, that's
30
where I
seconds,
went.
30 seconds.
I
10
went on
minutes.
Oregon as well, and I have the best photograph I've ever had taken.
Yeah.
What time did you go in, though?
In the morning. You got to go there
in the
early
afternoon.
because then there's like 7,000 people in there. If you don't get in there by like 9 a.m., you're screwed. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
so for people who have like a normal schedule, that's the difference,
10
right?
seconds, 5 seconds.
All
we're
right,
out.
boys. We will see you tomorrow
See you
night,
tomorrow.
baby.
See you next week.
Conshohocken
See you tomorrow.
Rooftop. Great American Pub, baby. It's going to be awesome.
This is Mays and Aton with Harry Mays and Aton Shan.
And there you have it, our weekly Crossing Stream segment. Crossing whatever the hell we want to cross. We cross the I's, we dot the T's. Don't we dot the I's and cross the T's? Whatever the hell you want to do, we do it for you right here. Meanwhile, we got construction. We got decks being taken down across. Can you hear that, Robin?
Yes.
We got lattices being thrown off the roof.
Ooh.
We got all kinds of good shit going on here in South Philly. I thought maybe there was another shooting going on, but it's just people actually working and tearing down a rotten
I'm
deck.
ripping my hair out.
You know what I'm saying?
People are commenting about my hair being down. I know that doesn't happen very often, and this is exactly why. Because
I let my hair down every day on the show, Robin. It's about time you did.
I was pulling a Lady Godiva this morning.
I know. Should have taken a picture of that. You know what I'm saying?
So my hair is long enough to cover, for those of you who do not know Lady Godiva, she had such long hair, she would walk
Doesn't
around.
she make
naked.
chocolates? Some
Yeah,
good shit,
that's
too,
some
man.
good
Yeah.
chocolate. And she would be naked on a horse with her hair covering her breasts.
What did you say, whores?
Horse.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Listen. And so, yes, my hair now covers my breasts.
Beautiful.
Breasts.
It's a good look. I like it.
Yes, I know.
All you need is a horse, a white horse, to ride down the street, which we've seen in the city.
Yes.
There are people riding horses everywhere, 70,000 illegal bikes. And
I've ridden a white horse with no name.
If you want to ride, you ride the white horse, Robin. Now you know what I'm going to have to do, right?
Of course.
You know that song? If you want to ride, you ride the white horse.
But I don't know what's the song actually called.
White horse, I
Oh,
think. Let me
okay.
see if this is it. Can you bring me up again, Robin, please, so to speak? Yeah, this is the song right here. Great song. This is by Laid Back, believe it or not. Laid Back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What up?
If you're going to what? It's a good long intro on this. Not white guilt. You can't ride that anymore. It's the white horse. Not the white horse pike. Too many damn lights if you're trying to go to the Jersey Shore, except on weekends.
Is the...
Wait, don't step on it, Robin. Don't step on the vocal. We got to talk it all the way up till the gentleman starts singing.
I don't know when it
It's coming
starts.
up in a moment here. Just relax. I got this.
I've heard that before.
Have you ridden the Italian Stallion? Well, this is the extended super long
Either
intro.
that or it's the instrumental.
No, there's no instrumental version of this, Robin.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, is White Horse a pseudonym for something?
I think it's heroin or crack or meth or
Okay.
one of those things. Not like the White Winged Dove. Remember that song? Stevie Nicks. The
I
White
remember
Winged
when
Dove.
Doves Cry by Prince.
There's too much white shit out there, man. We got to get more diversity in these horses. Get these damn white horses out of here.
Are you sure this is not the instrumental version?
Let me fast forward a little bit.
Because we're like...
No, see, there's
okay.
it's the longest intro in the history. I'm a minute and 36 in, and they haven't started singing yet. Although I don't think there you go. I don't think the lyrics are that deep, Robin. You ride the white horse. Yeah. If you want to ride, don't ride the white horse. Yeah, not the white horse. White horse. You got to have them tested first, though, man. Ride the white horse. The record is not skipping, no. White horse. White horses is some real white folk shit. Says
Not here in Philly, it ain't.
No.
I mean, as a horse lover, I just want to let everybody know it's not okay to have a horse in the city and keeping it. It would be like us having a horse in our little back patio. It's not cool.
What up, white horse?
Horse has got to roam, man.
See, I'm very diverse. When I used to drive to the shore before they built the Atlantic City Expressway, one week I take the black horse pike, another time I take the white horse pike, to show you about the diversity
That is
of
very
my driving
diverse of you.
skills.
That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Dean said, I just bet the gray horse in the third race at Saratoga.
Hey. That's some good mixing it up shit there, right there. And thank you, one from Cali, for subscribing.
This song gets underplayed, Robin. I'm going to have to put this in heavy rotation.
It's good, like, background music.
Yeah, it's got... I don't even know why they bothered to sing in this song. I mean,
Well, you gotta have the... People like saying, ride
imagine
the
doing
white
this at
horse.
karaoke, and you're standing up on the stage, and you're waiting a minute and a half before you say something. You want to talk about awkward scenes?
Yes.
Wait, where are they singing now? What? Wait. White Pony.
Now
Yeah.
it's a white pony.
Not White Power. That would be a different club that you would go
And
into.
then the girl says, will you be my pony?
Yeah, baby. Yeah. I love the black horse bike, though. All the strip clubs are out of business. You go mile after mile after mile once you pass Williamstown and see all the... That was Born to Be Alive, Robin.
Yes. We're turning that down.
Did you just see... How about I knew the fact that was the intro with like 3 notes.
That was good. That was very good. Now, back to
Let's get back to
Jerry
the business.
Jones.
Now let's get back to Jarrah, already in progress. So I told you about the whole Jalen Smith thing before we went on with Harry and A-Town on 97.3 FM. About Zeke and Dak and Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's not going to practice or play. He hasn't practiced for over a week because he's got the plantar fasciitis, which is painful. Anybody who knows, it's hard to run
Yeah,
on.
I forget who was saying it earlier in the chat room, but they were saying that they had to crawl to the bathroom. In the morning.
It's really painful. Now, according to the reports in Dallas, it's obviously painful, but he's basically not going to. And let's be honest, Amari Cooper doesn't really have to practice that much with Dak because he's been working with him since last year. And so they just want to make sure he's healthy for the regular season start. So Jalen Smith gets a contract. The other day, Jerry Jones, every time he talks to the media, they're not asking about Amari Cooper's plantar fasciitis. They're not asking him about Zeke. They're not asking him about Dak. They're asking about one thing and one thing alone, Zeke. So the other day, a couple of days ago, when Jerry was asked about Zeke, he jokingly said, Zeke who?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody laughed. And he laughed. Then, of course, the slimeball agent, Rocky Archambault, who's Zeke's slimeball agent, and I say this as someone who has had agents and respects agents, so his agent gets back to him and says, hey, Jerry, you're disrespecting my client. And then Jerry said, well, Jerry would say this if he was Italian. I would say this if I was Jerry Jones to Rocky. Hey, yo, Rocky.
Yo.
Hey, yo, Rocky. You know what I'd say to you? Bafangula. Take your Rocky statue, take your damn boxing gloves, take your white towel, and you get out of my face, sucker. You ain't making shit if you're not riding the backs of great athletes. So Jerry Jones yesterday was asked again, or was told, that Zeke and his agent really feel disrespected. that Jerry Jones had the balls to say Zeke who as a joke. Jerry, what say you about that reaction, Bo? Can I call him Bo? Yeah, call him brah.
Any response to that at all? Look, I've earned the right with Zeke to joke.
Damn right.
Period.
Period.
I've earned that.
So, have you guys had any conversations since then at all?
No. But let me be real clear about it. I've earned that right to joke.
Any response to that at all?
Look, I've earned the right with Zeke to joke.
Damn right.
Period.
Now, a lot of people are actually ripping Jerry Jones. And, I don't take sides. I rip management when management's wrong. I rip players when players are wrong. And you see all these people all over the place, all these respected football writers, saying that Jerry Jones is wrong in joking about Zeke who. Is that ridiculous?
Yeah.
The guy's a billionaire. He owns the team. He owns the most popular franchise, whether you like him or not.
At least he didn't say.
In the country.
At least he didn't say who the.
No, yeah, exactly. He didn't get back and do, except I can't find that damn thing in here because I have Luigi's open.
Who the fuck is that guy?
No, here it is.
Who the fuck is that guy?
If he had said that about Zeke.
That would have been different.
Yeah. Then they would have said, hey, Jerry, you got a really Irish accent there. What's the matter with you? You've been in a pub in London pouring shots of your booze? Jerry Jones is a Hall of Famer. And again, you know me. I'm not a Cowboy fan. And I want to thank Jerry for messing up the Cowboys year after year after year. And a lot of people don't like their bosses. If an employee can't take a joke from his boss, then maybe the employee's a douchebag. We know his agent's a douchebag. And Jerry's looking for glory hole all the time. So you can't knock an old guy who looks like Skeletor. Because I've called Jerry Jones Skeletor because if you put the two pictures together, Skeletor and Jerry Jones,
there is
it's separated at birth.
Resemblance.
Exactly. But I don't make fun of people's appearances and stuff. That's not my style. But the whole now taking sides in these Zeke versus Jerry Jones. Guess what, Zeke? Can you hear me down there in Cabo San Lucas? How about you pouring yourself another Cabo flip and then realizing one thing? Without guys like Jerry Jones or any other owner in the NFL, you'd be running around on the beach in Cabo cleaning up tables and opening up stinking umbrellas for tourists without Jerry Jones. Where you're going to make $50, $60, $70 million in the real world. That's bullshit. So Jerry Jones, I'm on his side. Not because I favor rich, old, white owners. I work for a lot of rich, white owners. If the boss can't joke, then maybe the employee's the joke. Maybe the employee is a thin-skinned chump who happens to be a great running back. I don't care how great you are at what you do. If you're a chump, you lose brownie points for that. So I'm standing with Jerry Jones on this. Not because I know if Zeke doesn't play, the Cowboys don't have a better chance of winning. I mean, there's a little part of that in there. A little part of me says I'd like to see Zeke continue his holdout and maybe sit out the entire season so that the Philadelphia Eagles can finish them off early and often and prove to the world that the Dallas Cowboys are chumps and their players are babies. Zeke is a crybaby. Dak Prescott, by the way, Robin and I have witnessed this.
Ugh.
Dak Prescott is a chump.
Tell me about it.
Crybaby. Chump ass. That's what they are.
And an ass.
Well, chump ass, same thing. You add the adjective. He's a chump.
I'll add the emphasis.
Bad guy, great player. Zeke, great player, bad guy. I'd rather have hard-working player who's not a superstar, good guy, than superstar, chump, great player. Not on my fantasy team because, A, I don't have one. I don't look at players based on fantasy stats. I look on players based on reality. And there's a lot of great players who are dicks. Chump asses, losers in real life. And unfortunately, a lot of those people are out there, and they get clout. So if you can't take a joke, Zeke, then maybe you should try another line of work. Maybe you should go out there and become a security guard at the next open-air festival. Maybe you can go to the next EDM show in Vegas and work the security detail. How about that, Zeke? Huh? You like that? Ridiculous. I don't hate the player, not the game. I hate the player, not the game. I don't hate the game. Well, I hate the game in the NBA, not the player. In the NFL, I hate the player, not the game. You know what I'm saying?
Get it right.
Aaron Rodgers, jerk. This isn't just about a couple of guys of color. There's a lot of jerks in sports. Not just African-American players. There's a lot of white guys who are assholes. And when that asshole jerk guy pisses me off, I will call him the asshole, chump, whatever else he needs to be called. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. So anyway, there's my Ezekiel Emanuel. But then the other story, of course, the other big epicenter of controversy has been Oxnard, actually Napa Valley.
Yes.
Who would have thought, first of all, that the Raiders would ever be in Napa Valley as their training camp for many, many years? When you think Raiders, do you think Napa Valley?
It doesn't compute. Like Raiders, I think.
I'm thinking, what's the school in Oakland that has the marijuana thing? Amsterdam, what do they call it? There's like a class at the university
yeah.
where they
What's it
teach
called?
people about weed. I would think that the Raiders would have their training camp at a marijuana growing facility. You know, at some place where they make moonshine, and grow weed in the back. Wouldn't it be what's more appropriate for Raider Nation? And I'm not saying this is an insult. Having marijuana fields in the back or wine or grapevines all over the place.
Oaksterdam
University.
Thank
That's
you,
great.
Play Action Reel.
Hemp High. Oaksterdam University. And Robin, you know this. I know this.
But Play Action Reel, thank you very much. That was a good call out of you.
Oaksterdam. That's where the Raiders training camp should be. Not in Napa Valley. Meanwhile, the Cowboys are in Oxnard, which, as people who don't know, the Central Valley of California, that's where all the vegetables in this country pretty much are grown. Oxnard is farmland. It's a beautiful country, but it's all farmland and stuff, right? It's where all the artichokes, you name it, all grown out there.
Yeah, if the Raiders were going to be surrounded by some kind of a crop, not grapes,
exactly,
what would it be? I'm thinking like maybe agave plants. That would be good. Tequila.
AJ in San Antonio says, when I think the Raiders, I'm thinking they should be working out in the Leavenworth practice yard. I think the Raiders...
San Quentin right there
San
in the middle.
Quentin. You know, just recreate all the great sports movies using ex-cons. Played by actors.
The Longest Yard.
Exactly, all of those reboots.
KOP Joe, don't be giving them good ideas.
I know.
No, you know what? I'm not. I'm going to rephrase. I don't think like the San Quentin, not the thug. I'm thinking of like maybe the working man.
Yeah.
Like
Oxnard. Those people work their asses off.
Right.
They're growing all the crops.
But we can go outside of California, right?
Yep.
So how about the working man, like a working town, like where's Anheuser-Busch?
That's St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
But they have breweries all over the country, Robin. In Jersey, they don't just brew beer
or like
Budweiser.
coal miner country.
Scranton.
Scranton would be a good spot.
They should train in Scranton, and then
Yes.
Joe Biden every day would be an assistant coach with a
think about it-
bullhorn.
And think about it, their colors are black and silver, and that's kind of like a anthracite kind of coloring. Perfect. Scranton would be the perfect training for them. I love it.
See how we try to fix problems of the world? I try to make sense of stuff. Like Napa Valley and the Raiders never really made sense to me.
Make sense.
Although it's brilliant. It's beautiful out there.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to train, where would you rather train, Robin?
Exactly.
Napa Valley or in the heat and humidity outside of St. Louis?
No, I'm thinking Scranton's perfect.
And a lot of
Think about
athletes
it,
train in Arizona during
Yeah.
the winter when the
Right.
weather is cool enough to go out there and work at
But
altitude.
if you're thinking of summer, Scranton's a little bit higher elevated, so they're not getting all the humidity. It's beautiful green during the summer. I mean,
Nah,
you get
Scranton's a shithole, Robin. I mean, come on.
Come on. No, it's not. It's up
I'm
towards
joking. But we've been there. My son went to school there, okay? I've been to the Steamtown
the
Mall.
Don DS9 says, I'm from Scranton. See,
I love Scranton.
I think this is the perfect idea.
My son AJ went to the University of Scranton. I took Robin into the coal mining tours up there at Scranton and Wilkes Bar. I took her down, all the way down in the damn hole. And I had her digging coal. I gave her
And
a
they
pickaxe.
even have the black hole in their games. It's like the perfect thing.
Yeah.
Think
Go
about
into
it.
the black hole. You go down there, and then you go out and you go to the Steamtown Mall and realize half the stores are closed. And then you go look for where Joe Biden actually went to school, and then you realize that he's really not from Scranton. He spent a couple of years there, and then claims that he's
If the
from
Raiders
Scranton.
move there, they could revitalize that town.
You're damn right they could, or take it down completely. One or the other.
One or the other.
By the way, we have breaking news from Dean now, a gambling degenerate who has some late breaking afternoon action.
You are looking live
At Saratoga, where Dean reports that they pulled a 1 down and gave us the 7 the victory in this afternoon's action on the card at Saratoga Raceway. Inquiry, race 3 to 7, wants to pull the 1 down for running into him. So we have running into the horses, not running into the kicker, which if you were at the Eagles training camp yesterday, nobody ran into the kicker.
No.
And this is my favorite story of yesterday, and I love the fact that so many people were ripping this video and ripping the person involved. She's a national hero. She's a local hero. She is Carly Lloyd. Carly Lloyd, as you know, multiple World Cup winner, now one of the elder statesmen on the team, just won another World Cup. So, women want to get paid a lot of money. And she went out yesterday here in South Philadelphia at the Eagles training camp and did something that people, she couldn't. She did something that real men who are paid $3 million a year in the NFL can't do. She didn't do a double doink like the Chicago Bears kicker did last year. And oh, by the way, if you haven't seen this video, she also kicked it through goalposts.
The narrow ones.
That were narrower than the Arena Football League goalposts.
Yeah.
These weren't these weren't college goalposts. These weren't NFL goalposts. They were much narrower. And she kicked it from 55 yards out. Let's go to the tape yesterday. U.S. Olympic women's soccer team champion and not one of the crybabies on the team, Carly Lloyd, lining it up from 55 yards out in South Philadelphia.
Let's play it again, shall we? Oh, okay. Or the media cannot. Oh, here we go.
The snap is good. The hold is good.
And buffering again.
How does this happen, Robin?
It's
I
because
thought we had high-speed Fios internet.
We do, but I have too many things. It's Luigi's computer.
God damn it, Luigi. Look at that. Look at that form.
Perfect.
And you know what?
And it's not just the Eagles that she went and did this with.
The Baltimore
did the
Ravens
rounds.
were there.
Yeah.
But the Ravens already have maybe the greatest kicker in NFL history on their roster. So it's not about who she did it with, because the Eagles are having joint practice with the Ravens, who they play tomorrow night here.
But what I'm saying is that she did several. You could see several kicks from several different angles. Every single one of them beautiful, right through the middle.
Exactly. So tell me how Carly Lloyd isn't better than a lot of the kickers in the NFL. Because remember, kickers, for the most part, aren't what you would call great athletes. Some of them actually run on kickoff returns. The other ones run to the sideline. Carly Lloyd's a tough girl.
Yeah.
Or woman. I don't want to call her a girl, but she's a girl. She's a tough woman.
I mean, think about it. Out of all the different positions that a woman could play, the kicker makes total sense.
Except, what ruined it is what that movie where what's-her-face was a field goal kicker.
I know. Christy
Brinkley. Wasn't she a field goal?
Christy Brinkley.
Where was the movie where there was a model played a field goal kicker?
Necessary Roughness.
Is that what the movie was? Are you sure?
Necessary Roughness? I think so. I think it was Necessary Roughness, and it was
I guarantee you right now.
Kathy Ireland.
Kathy Ireland, that's right. Kathy Ireland plays a field goal kicker, and you know she can't kick a field goal. It's acting. Carly Lloyd can kick. Now, I had a couple people on Twitter after I posted that video saying, oh, she'd get, all those kicks would be blocked in the NFL. How do you figure that?
Why would her
She's
kick...
still taking the two-step approach.
Yeah, why
the
would
ball
her
gets
kick
snapped.
be any different?
If the hold's good, and which it was, she nailed it. And it went through posts that were a lot closer than NFL. The guys in the NFL can't even put it through the middle of a regular goalpost.
I believe that was 55 yards, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
Kathy Ireland. Is that what we said?
Yeah.
Kathy Ireland.
55 yards was that last
Exactly.
kick right
Ask
there.
Chicago Bear fans if Carly Lloyd isn't better than the myriad of kickers they were running out there.
And I do know that kickers do get doinked every now and then, but it's not as bad as if they were playing any other
Bears,
position.
the absolute worst, obviously. And again, I don't want to rip kickers, but you saw the double doink where the Bears kicker hit the upright one side, went boink, boink, and then doink.
No, but I mean that they do get tackled every now and then, but it's just not as hard as any of the other positions. And she, as a soccer player, have you ever watched a women's soccer game? They're vicious.
Hello.
And they have no pads.
Hello. That's right. They don't have any pads on.
No padding. So if there was any position where a female should be allowed to try out along with any other kicker that's trying out, it would be that position. The kicking position would be perfect.
Exactly. That's my point. There's a lot of crappy kickers in the NFL. And watch teams. When people say, they're just kickers, the kicking position is one of the most important positions in the game.
Exactly. And then, not only that, she would make probably 10 times
exactly.
the amount.
These soccer women aren't making $3 million a year to go play in front in empty stadiums until it's World Cup time.
Why waste that talent?
Exactly. And why? There's no rule. You want to talk about getting diversity and having people say, wow, what a great idea.
Can you imagine if you were the very first team that allowed a woman on your team? That would get huge positive coverage.
We've seen it in college football.
Mm-hmm.
There have been female place kickers and punters in college football. Why wouldn't Carly Lloyd be able to kick field goals in the NFL? Why?
Now,
because
it doesn't mean shit unless she can do it during a game. Well, you're never going to find out unless you actually allow somebody to be on
and
there.
by the way, she's played around the world in stadiums loaded with 90 and 100,000 people and the whole world rooting against her.
Yep.
Give me a break.
If she can hit a goal, which is way smaller than through...
Yeah, but that's a different kind of kick. But what she showed yesterday, this isn't just trying to kick it into a wide open net. This is kicking between goalposts. That's the hardest part of making a field goal. And watch the video again. Watch the goalpost, how narrow they are. And she puts it right through the middle.
Philly Europe, she'll get signed before cap.
Exactly right, and she
I
should.
hope so.
She's valuable.
I think it's a brilliant
I don't
idea.
think she came out. Now, obviously, we're all speculating. I don't even know if any of the media people there yesterday talked to her about it. Because, she's still, the women's teams are still playing. They play on different teams. They play friendlies a lot. But as far as important games for the women's soccer team, it's the World Cup and it's the World Championships. And the whole thing about she would get swished by 300. By the way, have you watched an NFL game, KOP Joe? How many 300-pound guys are crushing kickers? You serious right now? You're not allowed to touch anybody in the NFL. You're not allowed to make a tackle on special teams now without getting a flag thrown. Don't give me this, those big, powerful NFL guys would crush her. That's ridiculous, man. Come on. What's wrong with you? Now, kickoffs, I don't know. But have you seen kickoffs now in the NFL? She would keep the ball at least straight.
Soccer players are trained to kick from across the field on their own kickoffs, and they have like corner kicks, and it's amazing what they can do to control a ball. I think that they have
I've had a lot of women control balls, and I'll tell you what, nobody does it
I
better.
would love to see this.
Nobody does
I
it
would
better. I'll tell you that
absolutely
right
love
now.
to see this.
Again, she's not out there auditioning. She's in town. She lives here. She's a South Jersey, Delran, New Jersey native. She went over to training camp because there's nothing going on right now with the women's world team, except Megan Rapinoe keeps going on TV shows, and people are saying, Can you go away? At least one thing about Carly Lloyd. Nobody's saying, well, why is she out there? Well, no, there's still jerk-offs who do that. What's she doing out there? Well, I mean, what's she trying to prove here? You know what she's trying to prove? That she's from the Philly area. She's an Eagles fan. Just like when the best player in baseball, Mike Trout, goes to Eagle games in the offseason when he comes home and goes to Millville after wasting yet another summer playing for the Los Angeles Disneyland-adjacent Anaheim Angels. Pissing away a career, but still the best player in baseball. But he's loyal to the team that signed him. And the people who think, oh, you should want to leave. See, that's the difference between baseball and a lot of other sports, especially basketball, the worst. If Mike Trout wanted to win and play I can't play here anymore because you know what? I'm never going to win a World Series playing for the Angels. If he pulled, say he pulled a LeBron or what NBA players want to do, call a guy and say, hey, I want to go play on that team. And call the Phillies and say, hey, Bryce Harper, let's say we talk about working on a deal where I can come and play with you in Philly, my hometown, and win World Series. He doesn't do that. Yet people criticize him because he plays for they drafted him and he plays for them. But because he doesn't go out there and get all antsy and say, I want to go play in Philly, people discredit him. Because he plays on a bad team, he shouldn't be the MVP, some people will argue. It's ridiculous.
Now, the Baltimore Ravens Hall of Famer, Sam Koch? How do you pronounce his last name? Tony?
I don't know. I don't even know who you're talking about. Where are you reading this from, Robin?
But Baltimore Ravens Hall of Famer, he was watching the joint practice.
Which Baltimore Orioles? Where are you reading this from, Robin?
Baltimore Ravens.
Which Baltimore Raven Hall of Famer?
Sam Koch. Koch? Coach Koch?
That's Koch.
Koch. Okay. Sam Koch. He said when he was watching her kicking, said that she deserves the right to try out.
Again, I don't know if she was there to grandstand and say, I could kick in the NFL. Everybody's she may not have any interest. She showed up, and then people were saying, hey, Carly, you just won another World Series. What do you want to do now? Hey, let's kick a couple of field goals. It's amazing how people want to read, and I don't know what her intentions are.
Here's another
Did anybody
comment.
ask her yesterday?
I don't think.
Where are you getting? I want to read. Because I haven't read any of the actual writers' stories.
She was not doing it for a tryout, but Gil Brandt, the Dallas Cowboys vice president of player personnel.
Yeah, Gil Brandt's a legend.
He tweeted out, honestly, I don't think it will be long before we see a woman break through the NFL barrier.
Absolutely. And anybody who thinks otherwise is just a misogynist, sexist, racist, white nationalist, white supremacist, woman hater. Give me all the other stupid things that people throw out there to condemn people because they're just
I'm
short-sighted.
tired of the ist thing. This is just reality. She's great, and here's the thing: if you put somebody through the exact same drills and tryouts, it doesn't matter what color their skin is, whether they're male or female. If they pass the same, if they are better than somebody else, it doesn't freaking matter what they are, who they are, what sex they are.
I guarantee you right now, and you're hearing, and a lot of people are going to say the right thing, but if she was out there embarrassing herself because she couldn't kick a field goal, even though she's a World Cup champion and world class, one of the greatest female soccer players or female athletes, period, athletes, regardless of her sex, period, then what the hell? The kick was 55 yards. Now, did she miss any? I don't know. Does everybody make 55-yard field goals? With no pass. Now, there's no pass rush, but let's be honest. How much of a pass rush is there on most kicks? Kickers miss chip shots all the time. She would probably miss them too. And I'm not speaking on her behalf. I'm just reacting as everybody else did who saw that on video. And I also happened to manage to see how close the uprights were. Closer than... Think of the Arena League. If you remember the Arena League and the 18 teams before it became like 4 teams and the same 2 teams are always in the finals.
Trevor from the 203
That's right.
makes a great point.
He's absolutely right.
If we can have male cheerleaders, we can have female kickers.
Exactly right. There you go. Perfectly stated. The Philadelphia Eagles have a male cheerleader on their cheerleading staff. And there are some jerk-offs. I don't know what's he doing out there. Yet the same people who say Carly Lloyd should never be allowed to kick in the NFL are ripping a male cheerleader. What does that say?
Well, I think it's the same people that are ripping both, but get
First
with
of
it.
all, nobody's going to lay her out. Most of these fat NFL linemen couldn't even catch her. It's not like she's some out-of-shape woman or some skinny little dweeb out there.
I'm sure that she'll get hit. Any woman.
She's not going to get hit. Most kickers don't get hit, Robin.
I know, but what I'm saying, it might happen occasionally, and it would be minor. It wouldn't be anything major, and it's nothing that
you just throw the yellow. You put up the red card, and you throw the son of a bitch.
And then, and here's
Ed Hockley will come out of retirement and put the red card in that player's face.
And here's the thing: is that it would not. It's certainly not something that she hasn't experienced before. She's been taken out multiple times on a soccer field without pads.
Exactly.
Without pads, people.
All right, I'm not enough about this, but I just thought it was a fascinating topic because everybody has an opinion on it. That's what's great about this. Nobody's right or wrong. All I'm saying is that if somebody said to Carly Lloyd, "Hey, I saw that thing. Would you
ever consider it?"
You would talk about this. Would be a big deal.
Yeah.
For the NFL. For women's sports, and she would make more money than she could ever make playing women's soccer.
Exactly.
And being a world champion. So that's all I'm saying.
And look, if she doesn't measure up, once they go through the trials and the tryouts and somebody else is better, then you hire somebody else that's better.
Exactly.
You shouldn't give her special compensation because she's a woman.
No.
You should put her through the
exactly.
same drills.
If she's qualified and is better than men at doing that job, how was she not getting a job if she wants it again?
Right.
Again, I don't think she was out there saying, "Hey, listen, this is soccer thing, and I'm second team now. I'm probably not going to play in the next World Cup. I'm doing a lot of good stuff in the community. People in Philly love me. I represent this area. I'm an Eagles fan, just like Mike Trout, as I mentioned earlier. The good thing about Mike Trout, he always has his falls empty so he can come to a lot of Eagles games because the stinking Angels never make the playoffs or the World Series. He'd miss half the season if they did.
Now, kickers are not exactly known for being the biggest or most bulked guy. They're kind of scrawny, too.
Yeah, have you seen some of the legs on these guys?
Yeah, so it's not like she would be that much different than any of your average normal kicker.
It wouldn't be a stunt.
No.
A stunt is when somebody who isn't really qualified to do something is put out there to do it as a gimmick. That's the difference between a gimmick and somebody who can actually do something.
Right.
It's like hiring somebody because you hope they can do something. That's a stunt. It's like what they do in minor league baseball games when they do wacky promotions and have people come out and do stupid shit on the field. That's a stunt. That's entertainment. That's all I'm saying. She's not going to get slammed by a lineman. That's another ridiculous. When was the last time you saw a kicker in the NFL or in college knocked out? You've seen guys run into the leg. They kick. And by the way, you know what the other thing that kickers and soccer players have in common, Robin?
What's that?
They take dives. They know how to embellish it. Nobody embellishes minuscule contact better than soccer players and kickers.
Very, very true.
Now, kickers are worse actors than soccer players because soccer players can fool officials on a soccer field by just even like somebody breezing by them. They act like they've been shot by a howitzer. You've seen that in soccer, right? And then the one person acts, and then they don't go back to the replay and say, hey, listen, that person just took a dive. Nobody even touched him. So don't give me that crap. Kickers absolutely, positively dive. And so do soccer players. I rest my case, Your Honor. It's ridiculous, man. Absolutely. Sebastian Janikowski could barely move on the field. The guy was the Michelin Man. And they kept trotting him out there until they realized he's making too much money and he now is missing short field goals and he's a big fat slob. But he made gazillions of dollars with virtually zero athletic ability.
Now, I just want to bring out, I looked up the smallest NFL players in history. Now, the smallest NFL player of all time was Jack Shapiro.
Jack Shapiro, isn't he a guy that, it's Ben Shapiro, any relation?
So
he's a little whiny short guy on does his own stupid
he only
shows.
played in one game though, so it's not. But he was the smallest ever at 5'1", weighing only 119 pounds.
He wasn't
But
a
that's
kicker, though.
That was back in 1929. So
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah.
It was all short white
Right.
guys,
So
skinny
then,
white guys.
So let's go a little bit more present. Trindon Holiday, 5'5", 162 pounds, who played for where did he play for? Houston. Then we have Tariq Cohen, 5'6", 179
He was a running
pounds.
back for the Bears a couple
Right.
of years ago.
So he's only 5'6", 179 pounds. Now let's bring it to, and he wasn't a kicker. He was actually
Robin, he just played a couple of years ago.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
You don't have to bring this stuff up. People know that they're smaller. We have one right
no,
here.
But I'm
you ever
playing,
know a guy, Darren Sproles?
I want to give you the stat for Carly Lloyd. She's 5'8", and she weighs 149 pounds.
Correct. And she's a kicker, not a
Right.
running back who's getting hit, by the way, on every play.
Exactly.
Tariq Cohen and small running backs get hammered by 300-pound linemen and linebackers who are built like brick shithouses. But, we got to worry about a kicker. Somebody may accidentally run into her. We'll put her in a bubble. We'll bubble wrap her and put her out there because men are they just can't deal with this shit. Give me a break, man.
And I love how people bring up the fact, like, will she need her own locker room? I'm like, every single stadium has more than one locker room already built.
All right, enough about this. She's not trying to get, she's not looking for the job. Tariq Cohen's still in the league, but he was, a couple years ago, he was a stud. He's still a nice player, but he's a little guy.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of little running backs.
Exactly my point.
You don't think I know that Tariq Cohen's in the league?
No, I'm
Trevor?
this is not.
No, I'm
not to
yelling
you,
at
I'm
Trevor
talking-
here.
Okay.
By the way, we got daytime baseball action, Robin. I'm going to have to bring you around the bigs and go inside my, what's the show that my boy does on MLB Network? Let me give you some baseball. We got action in the National Baseball League. Red Sox, White Sox. The Red Sox and Phillies will play again tonight. But your Chicagoland area White Sox in action right now, ladies and gentlemen. They're up 3-0 in afternoon getaway day on a What Up Wednesday play. Say that fast 5 times. Rockies who've been owned by your Arizona Diamondbacks. That action's coming up tonight. But I'm getting you the daytime scoreboard, Robin, as I try to vamp and get the daytime score. Let me go to MLB.com because ESPN's baseball thing sucks. Sucks canal water.
Sucks big time.
Canal water. Dirty canal water, not even clean canal water.
I had somebody say that the MLB app on your phone is actually better, but your phone is so slow right now.
Exactly. We got the Cincinnati Redlegs leading your San Diego Padres. I'm looking for a Padre fan in Cincinnati at the Great American Ballpark. Redlegs 4, Padres 1. They're in the top of the 6th in Cincinnati. Top of the 5th in Tampa. Probably before friends, family, and just people walking around and getting lost near the beach and wanting to see what that big, gigantic orange thing looks like. Tampa Bay 4, Seattle 3, top of the 5th. White Sox, as I just mentioned, going to the bottom of the 4th inning in Minnesota. White Sox up 3-0 on the Twinkies. And then coming up on YouTube later on, because I don't know about you, when I want to watch baseball, I immediately log on to YouTube just in case I accidentally find a DIY video that may interest me more. Especially when it's Colorado and Arizona. The pool will be rocking, so don't come a knocking out there at Chase Utley Field in the desert. Comb the desert! Arizona, Colorado on YouTube only. Available in PornTube in certain markets. That's at 3:40 start, and then all the other actions tonight. Kansas City at Baltimore, Washington and Pittsburgh, Angels at Texas. That's your free game of the day, by the way, on the MLB Network. If you're scoring at home tonight, and if you are, congratulations, it's Wednesday night. And the Phillies in Boston tonight. Drew Smiley, will he be able to snap out of it? Because the Red Sox have a great lineup. They were shut down last night for the most part. Is there any way the Phillies go in there and win another one against the Boston Sox? Mets in Cleveland again tonight. Atlanta, Miami. St. Louis, Milwaukee in St. Louis. Cubs and Giants. Detroit in Houston. Hello. And then the Oakland A's and Yankees again later tonight, along with the Dodgers, who's poleaxed those Toronto Blue Jays later on. By the way, the Rockies lose. They lost Sonny Gray. John Gray, not Sonny Gray. They lost John Gray, their right-handed pitcher. Is going to be on the sideline for the rest of the year. Fractured his left foot.
Yowza.
And he was on track to set a career high in innings pitched this year. Gray's been he's put on the 60-day disabled list. The Rockies, though, unfortunately, they ain't going nowhere except up to get a couple of beers and head for the mountains and get Coors, the banquet beer. You like that, Robin? You know who does that? Coors, the banquet beer.
That's a good voice. You could do that.
But you know whose voice that is, though?
No, whose is that?
The actor with the actor that does Coors, the banquet beer.
Oh, is that the guy with a big bushy mustache?
Yes.
Sam. Oh,
I know,
shoot.
I'm brain dead, Robin.
Somebody
I always
out
have
there.
to go to the text board. Damn it. Damn it. Oh, mine. I'm going Joe Biden now all of a sudden.
Sam. No, it's not Sam Waters.
No, it's not Sam.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. Thank you very much, AJ.
Thank
Sam
you.
Elliott.
No, Don Juan 720. Oh, Tony, are you too as well?
Yeah, no, everybody knows this except me and you, Robin. You never
I knew-
bail me out.
Hey, I'm the one that came up with Sam.
I gave you the banquet beer. The banquet beer, Coors. What's the difference? Well, he's got that Beechwood aged.
so
well, that's
good.
Budweiser. He's got that 72,000 cartons of cigarettes, bourbon, cowboy,
Oh, so good.
dust eating.
He's the ultimate Marlboro Man voice.
Yeah, but the Marlboro Man died. We
I
don't want
know.
Sam. We don't want Sam Elliott to die. And of course, the greatest scene in cinematic history, the end of The Big Lebowski. Remember, he's in the bar.
I never watched the movie.
You never watch? I watch it all the time when it's on.
I have never.
The end of Big Lebowski is
seen-
one of the greatest scenes ever.
I will give myself a bump, umpty bump. I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Oh,
but
that's
I've-
the people are going to just absolutely destroy you,
I know.
Robin.
I have never
They're
seen
going to be
the entire
destroyed, and you
movie.
should be destroyed for not knowing Sam Elliott in The Big Lebowski.
I know.
That's almost criminal. There should
bad.
be a law against somebody not knowing that. He played Virgil Earp. No, he's a great actor. He's been in a lot of stuff, Sam Elliott. He's been around forever.
John R. 1984. Robin! I know. What am I going to do?
He does Ram. He does a lot of voiceovers.
Yeah.
Maybe when I'm like 80, if I'm still alive and my voice is deeper and I can sound like that, I could probably do a fake Sam Elliott.
I think so.
Speaking of doing great fake voices, Robin,
Yeah.
my boy Frank Caliendo. Now, a lot of people have jumped on the Frank Caliendo bandwagon, Johnny-come-latelys. Frank Caliendo and I go back
Yes, you do.
at least 20 years. He was always a regular on my shows in L.A. because he lived out there when he was working for Fox.
He loves him some Tony Bruno.
I would always go see him at the Comedy Light Electrical, whatever that club's called in Hermosa Beach. I always call it the Comedy Electric Light Show, big. But there's a comedy club in Hermosa Beach where Jay Leno goes on Sunday nights. Still, after he's done, even when he was
loves
doing the
it.
Tonight Show, he would go do a set every Sunday night just to work on material. But of course, the great Frank Caliendo would always come in the studio wherever I worked, come on the show. Worked at Fox, was on the Best Damn Sports Show, was on the NFL on Fox, and went to ESPN a few years ago. So he's on everywhere now because he's phenomenal. And so HBO's Hard Knocks, which is doing the Raiders this year, we were talking about it with Eitan and Harry a little bit earlier. Some people think this is just not what HBO Hard Knocks is all about. What's it about? It's an entertainment show.
Right, exactly.
People want everything to be about players fighting and helmets, and they haven't really been showing much about it. I think that's why people are angry at the Hard Knocks show this year, because it's at the Oakland Raiders. So they're expecting like John Gruden to be yelling at guys every day, and the whole helmet thing and the whole foot thing to be the big story every week. That's not how it works in training. The players don't focus on just the stupid things we in the media and talk heads do. They focus on getting ready for a season and worrying about like all 90 players, or how many they have in there, 75 players in camp, and trying to figure out who's going to go and who's going to stay. They know that Antonio Bryant's going to stay.
Brown.
So Antonio Brown. Why do I always say Antonio Bryant?
I don't know.
Antonio Brown. Should know that. You know why, Robin?
Why?
Because my name is
Antonio.
Giuseppe Bruno. Antonio Giuseppe.
But for whatever
Bruno.
reason, it's like that the one that you always used to get wrong. Mike Shanahan, Mike. What were the two that you always used to mix
Marty
up?
Schottenheimer and Mike Shanahan.
Yes.
It's a mental block.
And-
But I'm not running for president, at least, so you don't have to worry about me making these flubs when I'm trying to bomb Iran. I'm just doing a stupid Twitch show every day. And a mind is a terrible thing to lose, Robin. But luckily, radio, it doesn't matter. So anyway, so this was set up. It wasn't like he tried in there and he didn't pull an Impractical Jokers bit.
This was
He was invited.
ahead
They
of
knew
time.
he was going to be there. So Frank Caliendo brought down the house on Hard Knocks last night's episode by walking in, pretending that he was Chucky John Gruden. Let's go to the tape.
Glenn on. Love you, man. John Gruden, University of Dayton. I do this for free. Knock on wood if you're with me.
So that was what he did. And there's Gruden sitting in there in the office while he's doing in the room with the media. How can you not have fun? These guys are out there sweating every day.
By the way,
I give John Gruden a lot of credit.
and Caliendo looks really good.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of weight.
weight.
No, he's great. I love
He's
Frank.
been working out. He looks great.
By the way, my brain surgeon has not cleared me to continue to do the show. So next week I'm going to take a week off and go hide. People haven't known this. This is actually breaking news, and I have to reveal it, Robin, because it's really up to us to be transparent and tell people what's really going on.
Okay.
We don't want to hide any shit from the audience. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, Monday through Friday, and then, of course, on Monday, Labor Day, and September 2nd, I will not be here because I'm not. You're probably thinking I'm going to go to Epstein Island and see what's left and see if I can scramble around because it's a beautiful. And we go in that area all the time, Robin and I.
Yeah.
On our catamaran, we go down there. I am not going to Epstein Island. I'm not going to the Virgin Islands.
Nope.
I'm not going to any exotic locales.
We're not even getting on an airplane.
Where we're going requires no sunscreen, requires no windows, and no doors. I will be holed up somewhere in either Iowa or New Hampshire. I haven't made the final destination yet.
Okay.
It's either going to be Iowa or New Hampshire. And Joe Biden and I, my good buddy from Delaware, longtime senator from the state of Delaware, Scranton native,
Do I have a say in this?
we're going to get down. We're going to hunker down together. And we're going to do some Evelyn Wood speed reading courses for a week. We're going to do word association. We're going to have people asking us questions about Antonio Brown versus Antonio Bryant. People will see if I can tell the difference between Marty Schottenheimer and Shanahan and all the other things that I've gotten confused over the years. And if I clear the 7 days of intensive brain scanning
And testing.
and all kinds of genetic testing, probes being attached to every particular spot on my body except the orifice. I don't mind having electroshock therapy.
Okay.
I don't mind
You'll
having
do whatever's necessary.
brain scans, whatever they want to hook up. I want to be able. Machine Shed Restaurant in West Des Moines. Very good homemade roast turkey dinner, Tony, from King Flavor. I'll go wherever I have to go. I won't go to the Iowa State Fair because that's over, though.
Yeah.
Nobody spends more time in Iowa than the people who will ignore it the second the Iowa primary's over.
I'm bummed, though, that we missed one of the state fairs with the 4-H displays, all the animals.
4-H.
Yeah, all the...
I don't know the 4-H's. Are they like the... No, I know that. It was down in Virginia.
I know.
Over
We
there's
missed
always
it.
There's all kinds of fairs, Robin. There's
I know.
the Pennsylvania State Fair.
But you
There's
wanted to see the chickens and the pigs.
I love livestock.
livestock show. But anyway, back to your brain scan.
Whatever it takes. There will not be suppositories. As I mentioned, it will be all electrically stimulated. You know when they put those little probes on you and then they send little jolts?
Yes.
Sort of like Frankenstein, except completely different. But there will be a lot of thunderstorms. So if there's really increased thunderstorm activity, then I believe that the extra
can I
light.
do like Dr. Frankenstein?
Yeah,
and
you
hook
flip that switch.
Yeah. Well, actually, you will be going somewhat to something like that. I haven't made the appointment yet, but you won this from the Jason Thompson Foundation.
Well, it was a silent auction.
Silent auction.
You don't win it when you contribute and you bid on a silent auction item.
You won the bid.
That's
You were the
a
top
donation
bidder.
to charity, Robin.
And this was you will be going into the Coca cardiology to do a
They have Coke in there?
Koka. Coca.
Isn't that a campground?
I don't know.
No, that's
KOA. Close, but no cigar.
Isn't that a bean in Hawaii?
The coca plant. Yes, coca beans. You are going to have a complete cardiac screening. Where they screen your carotid, your abdominal aortic, your heart rhythm.
I'm going to go
your-
full body screening.
Yes.
That's cake in Swedish, says King Flavor.
Coca?
Coca's cake. Isn't cake bad for your arteries? Why would I be going to a place whose name literally means cake if they're going to see if my carotid arteries and all of my other arteries and tubes and
I don't
wires
know.
and all that other shit are connected?
I'm just happy that you're going to get screened and probed and cleaned out from head to toe.
That's what I
You're
want.
going to be a new man, Tony.
I could just go to Roto-Rooter because that's the name, and away goes plumbing down the drain. You know what I'm saying, Robin? Sort of like the show is today. By the way, you know where I'm really going, though, Robin? Somebody pointed this out. Can you bring this up? This is where I'm going in Iowa. Yes, indeed, everybody. Joe Biden and I will be there. A couple of old guys get confused often. Green Acres is the place for me. Farm living is the life for me. Look at that man getting on a tractor. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside. New York is where I'd rather be. I get allergic smelling hay. Just adore a penthouse view. Darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue. The chores.
The stores.
Fresh air. You are my wife. Goodbye, bitches in city. Ladies and gentlemen, how great was Green Acres, man? I love that show. Did you ever watch that show, Rob?
I did. I do recall the show. And it was funny because I was always with him. I'm like, I want to be out there in the fresh air. Don't give me Park Avenue.
Well, especially what's happening here in Philadelphia. Everybody's heading to Green Acres pretty soon. I don't mean the retirement community. They off the White Horse Pike in New Jersey.
Right. Now, that was that Zaza or Ava?
I don't know.
I think
but
that was Ava, right?
That's one of those great questions. In fact, Play Action Reel just checked in on our Twitch stream and said, Zaza or Ava? You know, we have the Ginger or Marianne.
I'm recognizing the number now.
Zaza or Ava? You make the call, guys and gals.
Hang on a second.
Not David Akers, of course, former Eagle kicker. That's great knowledge, John. Mr. Haney better grease up that glove before he inspects your undercarriage, Tony. Yeah, indeed. Mr. Haney? Who the hell do I say it sounds like Mr. Haney when he talks? Oh, it's one of the NFL officials. There's an NFL referee who I always say he sounds like Mr. Haney when he makes the calls in the National Football League. You know what I'm saying?
We have a follow-up from Trevor in the 203.
To his trip to
Yes.
It was a packed house last night at the Fens.
And I believe he only got 5 hours of sleep.
Dude. So you get there, place is packed, lots of Phillies fans. I love Fenway Park. It's still a shrine.
Yes.
Did you sit behind one of the poles where the obstructed view, or did you get a good seat?
We had aisle seats in the row 12 of the bleacher section 41 of Fenway Park. So we were right behind behind the Red Sox bullpen actually.
Oh, that's where that one home run ball went early in the game, that 2-run home run.
Yeah. So that was we were miserable. We had,
Wasn't that Jackie Bradley Jr. that hit that 2-run homer?
Yes, him, or AKA people call him Jackie Bradley Jesus.
Exactly.
That's what they call him up there.
Not when he's hitting 220, they don't.
No, they're sure they're calling him Jackie Bradley Jesus. Not this year.
No, not this
year. Not 2019. So, my buddy, we walked into one of the bars, and I walked in with the Foles jersey. This old lady, Foles clap, like the Vikings skull chap. We started doing that. The bar turned off all the music, and we were doing it for a long time. My buddy had it on video. We added you, Rob Ellis, and a few other guys, and importantly, and Miss Robin as well.
Oh, wow, that's an awesome job out of you. So you went into behind enemy lines in Boston, where all the Patriot fans are, at a Boston Red Sox game at Fens. Were you near the pesky pole at all? Did you touch that pesky thing?
No, we did not. We just got to our seats because we were just, like, really in one. And I had a 6-year-old, I guess 9-year-old tell me, go bleep yourself. And I told him, like, your mom's right there. You should get your mouth of a piece of soap.
That's bad parenting, and that's why they cheat in New England. When you have bad parents who have filthy mouth 9-year-olds dropping profanity, you would never see that happen here in Philadelphia. You never see that happen at a Dodger game, a San Francisco Giant game, or a Raider game, or any game.
Trevor, did you send it on Twitter? Where did you send it?
I sent it on Twitter. I'll send it to you again. It's on.
Wait, what's your Twitter handle?
Harris_18, or go to the Upper Bowl podcast. It's on.
Is it a full bowl or just a half bowl in the Upper Bowl in your podcast? Is it the full bowl or the half a bowl?
It's a full bowl. Full bowl. We're on vacation these 2 weeks. My buddy is mono.
Now you didn't get there. You didn't get there like and miss the first inning when the Phillies scored their 3 runs, like they do at a lot of
ball.
No,
we were there. We got in at 6:30. Got food, and we saw those 3 runs, and we were making some. We had a lot of Phillies fans near us, so it was like actually pretty good.
Now, any brawls any brawls outside by Yawkey Way? Did they change the name of Yawkey Way now that we know he's a racist? Didn't they change it? Yeah.
It's called Jersey Street.
What a joke! I hate that Jersey guy anyway.
I call it Yawkey Way, and I got a lot of looks like, oh, the PC police is there. Okay.
That is bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. That's why this country's going to hell. It's ridiculous.
It's on the highway to hell. How about that?
I love the highway to hell.
Oh, yeah. Expressway to hell.
And there's no exit. The best part of the highway to hell, you don't have to worry about filling up your gas tank, man. The final destination is right ahead, man. You don't need a full tank of gas, a pack of cigarettes, and wearing sunglasses at night to get there, baby.
No doors, no windows, just no rules, just right.
So you wore your Nick Foles jersey at the game. How come I didn't see you on TV? Because I was scanning the crowd.
I don't know. I'm going to say this. Whoever was in charge of the cameras last night, I was trying to find myself when I got home. Couldn't find myself. I must give them a big bump up to give them a bump on that one as well.
Now, were you in camera range or radar range or any range, home on the range?
We were close to the bullpen, and so I looked at the home run. I thought I saw myself, but I guess they just did a horrible job. Those HD cameras didn't do a good job enough to come and find me.
Now, I have breaking news from the high-speed stream Twitch wires from King Flavor, the flavor that you crazy. He says the original name was Jersey Street, and then in 1918 they renamed it Yawkey Way. And, of course, Jersey Street, not Baker Street, with the great Jerry Rafferty song. Remember that?
Not really.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, Robin. I'm sorry. I hate to do it to Trevor. He's such a good guy, but I got to give him one of those.
Hey, Trev,
Why did they call something in Boston Jersey Street? They don't even call streets in Jersey Street.
I figured out, by the way, why we can't see the video. Your tweets are protected, and for whatever reason, we were not following you yet as Harris_18, so it is pending.
How can you protect yourself from me? You came into my house. You were
I was trying to find a job in the radio, and I tweeted some ridiculous shit back in college. That's why. Protect yourself before you wreck yourself.
See, that's smart kid right there. Smart kid.
Protect yourself before you wreck yourself. That's why I leave the Up Bowl podcast for the funny stuff.
exactly
Well, it's
right.
not on there either because I looked at the Upper Bowl podcast and it's not there.
I want a full bowl. Hey, by the way, this is Baker Street. What a great song, man. You don't remember this song? Jerry Rafferty, yo. Great saxophone. Why are you bringing it down? Crank that bitch up.
Because Trev won't be able to hear us if I.
I'm trying to play air sax.
I know he can't hear when that's up.
Damn it.
Trev, you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay.
I am still here. I'm in my neighborhood right now, just getting home from running errands and getting my car work done.
Why
So.
won't you be my neighbor? Is it a beautiful day in the neighborhood? Is it a beautiful
It's a
day?
beautiful day in the neighborhood, but I have people working on the power lines, the underground power lines near my house. How about that? Never good. Never a good thing to have.
So after the game, were the Boston Red Sox fans, were they visibly shaken, or they pretty much said, "Screw it, we're done this year"?
I got a few screw it, we're done. I said I got a few nice bleep you, Matt Barnes. When he was warming up in the bullpen, it was pretty funny, and they were just setting their heads down. They knew they're done. I'm sorry. I'm not even sorry, Dean. Your team's done this year.
Well, they know it. I mean, the Phillies are probably done too for the wild. I mean, the Red Sox aren't even in the wild card. Forget about the division.
No.
At least the Phillies are still in the wild card chase.
Yeah, thank God. All they got now, they still need to beat the Marlins. That's what they got to do. They got to beat the Marlins, and they got to beat whoever's after. So.
And the Braves are beating up on the Marlins. See, the teams like the Braves, when they get the Marlins, they take care of business. They're not going to lose 2 out of 3 to the San Diego Padres or 2 out of 3 to the Miami Marlins. You do that, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. And that's the problem with the Phillies. They've lost some really bad series, especially at home, losing 2 out of 3 to the Padres after, they had. But by the way, Robin, you know this song because it's part of Yacht Rock Radio.
Yacht Rock Radio.
This is Yacht Rock. Jerry Rafferty. Come on, man. Damn right, baby.
Love the music today.
This is good stuff, man. Nobody plays a better variety of hits from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, but not today.
So we had this one dude in the bleachers. He was a Philly fan. He was so drunk. He was getting selfies with everyone.
Are you sure there's nobody in Philly who goes out and gets drunk and goes to sporting events? What's the matter with you, man?
No, he was drunk like a skunk, and he was coming up to us many times, taking selfies with us, and he was dancing. He was hitting on chicks as well. It was pretty entertaining.
I'm sure he was attractive. I'm sure he was really attractive to many other women up there nearby.
He wasn't
probably. We had a lot.
Now he wasn't so drunk like the video that I can't unfortunately show everybody because it has a naked breast in it. It was a couple drunk, and the guy is breastfeeding.
Yes, but she was dry. There was no lactating Latina in the picture, though.
Yeah, so he's leaning over, totally sucking on her boob for quite some time. Looks like he's swallowing some milk, and then she covers herself back up again, and then they kiss.
And they makes out. I thought he was giving her some of her own breast milk because some people are weird like that. Some people like the nutrients.
It was like
adults like the nutrients in breast milk too.
It looked like it was at a
party, a wedding, or a bar.
I don't know.
It was at a party.
Yeah.
Because they're sitting at a table. Have you seen this video, Trev, on the internet?
I would love to show it, but I can't because it's a naked breast.
It's not a naked breast.
I will take a look at it because I've been offline the internet because I've been busy, and yesterday my phone was being a piece of junk. How about that? I need to go to Verizon and scream at them.
You'll go into Verizon and you tell them I'm as mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore.
I am pissed off is what Harry Mays would say about my problem with my phone. How about that?
How about...
Get out! Get out! I am pissed off.
He is pissed off, man. We'll be playing a block of Criss Cross and maybe some Pablo Cruz as we continue our Yacht Rock Radio. That's a great channel on Sirius XM. I highly recommend it. Of course, they play the same 100 songs over and over again. But for a short burst, if you're taking a 3-hour drive, you put Yacht Rock Radio on. And then the announcer does the whole smarmy, Ivy League yacht rock radio.
Oh, the Harvard or Yale.
Yes, exactly. Buffy, Buffy with the ascot, on the sailboat up there off of Kennebunkport, Maine, up there off the harbor, up there with the Kennedy compound in Massachusetts.
Yep. Oh, yeah. One thing I've been listening to is Sirius XM Turbo because it reminds me of the music they played on Madden 02, 03, 04,
Turbo?
05, 06, 07.
I didn't know there was a Turbo channel. Dude.
Oh, there's a Turbo. It's like rock. It's really good.
Wasn't that a video game? Wasn't that a video game, Turbo?
I think there was. I think there's also a character named Turbo. I think he was on Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory.
No, there's a movie called... There's an original motion picture called Turbo.
Oh, the Disney movie, the Turbo movie, the snail.
Exactly. That is great Turbo music knowledge right there. You remember the movie Turbo, Robin? It's a DreamWorks film, actually.
I don't know.
It's a Pixar movie.
I got the entire playlist here. Movie Turbo, 18 songs by various artists. You know what else? You know what song's in there? In the movie Turbo? I'm not making this up. This is from the actual soundtrack. Crank it up, Robin.
That's right. On top.
Come on! To rock around, it's right on down, it's tricky. It's got Snoop in there. It's got Pitbull, Lil Jon. It's got House of Pain. It's got Henry Jackman. Tom Jones. You want to talk about an eclectic mix of music? Run DMC, Snoop Dogg, the Jackson 5, and Tom Jones.
That's a great...
I got to get that album, man.
That's got to be on the next workout playlist. That's what's got to be on.
Oh, man, it's one of Robin's favorite songs.
Oh, absolutely.
Pussycat, no.
This will be great for the Soul Cycle tonight.
Yeah, this is Soul Cycle music all night long, baby.
Oh, I found...
Pussycat, pussycat, I've got flowers and lots of hours to spend with you. Robin, you're supposed to take your panties off and throw them at me right now. Pussycat, pussycat.
I'll get right on that.
You and your pussycat eyes.
I will say one thing. The Soul Cycle last Monday was horrible, by the way.
The Soul Cycle Monday sucked?
Oh, I got the ratio. It's my buddy Brian who teaches it. He's the instructor. The worst ratio I've ever seen in 15
My favorite ratio is on Twitter when somebody says something stupid, then everybody kills him because I'm always there for the ratio.
Tony Bruno, I just figured out why we couldn't see the video. It had nothing to do with Trevor from the 203.
What happened? Has he blocked us?
The person who posted the video is at PHI Fan 95, a.k.a. Clentac is a clown.
Uh-huh.
You had him blocked.
How would I block anybody who says Matt Clentac's a clown?
I have no freaking
He must
clue.
have come at me with all kinds of vile, disgusting, because it takes, to get blocked by me,
But you
pretty much have to come after me with a bazooka and
You
threaten me.
had a block party this weekend, you mentioned, so maybe he was part of this block party.
No, I don't remember ever blocking
But anyway, I have the video. Would you like to go to it?
Let's go to the video now. Is this from Fenway?
Yes, this is from Fenway.
This is my buddy Rob, who's like usually my go-to. We go to games together.
So he's your wingman?
Hilarious.
Is he your wingman?
You could say that. We could say he's a wingman. He also brings the life of the party. Always brings the booze.
Oh, I love the party.
Always find a good pissing spot.
Well, nowadays, that's anywhere you want, basically. It used to be you used to have to go hide. Now people just whipping it out right in the middle of the street and peeing, no matter where they want to go. And I'm all for that, by the way. As long as it's not on the curb.
At least we're not San Francisco. We're pooping everywhere.
All right, let's go to the video. This is last night, ladies and gentlemen, exclusive video. You will not see this on TMZ. You will not see this on what's the woke World Star. This is not going to be on World Star, is it?
No, you won't see this on World Star. You won't see this on Barstool. You won't see this on Deadspin. You only will see this on the Tony Bruno show.
Let's go exclusively last night. The Fens, as they call it up there, Fenway Park, in Boston?
At the bar called the Baseball Tavern.
The Baseball Tavern. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Trevor in the 203.
Whoops.
Were you drinking last night by any chance, Trev?
It's going to continue. Hang on.
It's still
Our
buffering.
buddy came with us. Our other buddy came with us, and he drove us both back to Connecticut.
Dude, that's a good job.
A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
There we have it, folks.
One thing I must say, though. Earlier in the season, I would have ripped you for that because going to Phillies games like in May and June, actually in April and May when they were playing well, and then hearing some putts start doing an Eagles chants at a baseball game, that would piss me off.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do that shit in April and May when the season's just starting. Now that it's late August, middle of August, if you want to start an Eagles chant, go right ahead.
That's my rule. You only start Eagles chants from August all the way to end of football season. If you're at a Flyer game, you could do that as well. Depends.
Exactly. All right, Trev, get back to work. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. And let me know when the next Soul Cycle class is lit, because I don't want to see too many guys at a damn Soul Cycle class.
Yes, 6 guys. That's unacceptable.
I don't play that shit, man. I don't play that shit. All right, man. We'll see you later. There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Take care.
Trevor up there in Connecticut. Dean says, one thing I must say, if a Patriot fan did that in Philadelphia, they'd be throwing shit at him. Yeah, but they'd be justified. I mean, come on. Enough about that. Meanwhile, let's get back to the business, Robin. I got to do this Larry Bird story. Because I believe Larry Bird was even mentioned in the great summer hit classic, Summer Girls, remember? Larry Bird wore number 33. In the summer. I like girls who wear Abercrombie and Fitch. I think it's fly when girls stop by in the summer. Speaking of Larry Bird, number 33, Robin, we have a Larry Bird NBA outrage in Indiana update. Let's go to your Who's Your Daddy desk. And a man who once has said many, many times to many women, up close and personal, who's your daddy, baby? Who's your daddy?
Can you toss it to yourself?
Yes. I can toss anything. Salads, whatever you need, Robin. Ladies and gentlemen, in Indiana, which wants me, but I can't go back there, Larry Bird has a mural. He didn't paint it himself. Some chick named Jules Mock. I'm not making this up. A woman by the name of Jules Mock is an artiste. And she decided, hey, I'm going to paint an homage to number 33 Larry Bird. I'm going to do it on the side of a house. And I'm going to use the Sports Illustrated 1977 cover of depicting Larry Bird when he played at Indiana State. Remember, he went on and got drafted. Magic Johnson got drafted from Michigan State, and the rest is history. So there's a Sports Illustrated picture showing Larry Bird with when he was young. Obviously, he was a college kid. And then this woman decides, hey, I'm going to paint a mural of Larry Bird in his home state of Indiana. And I'm going to use that 1977 Sports Illustrated, but I'm going to mix it up a little bit. It's not going to be the same, just carbon copy, because she says that would be wrong, and I don't want to steal that idea. I want to go and add a little of my flair, because after all, embellish it. I'm an artist.
Okay.
So what am I going to do? What am I going to do with Larry Bird? I want to put a whole bunch of tattoos on the whitest white guy, the hick from French Lick. And Larry Bird apparently doesn't even have a problem with having a tattoo put on him.
Okay.
He has a problem with a whole shitload of tattoos put on him. And you know what he has? The tattoos depict, Robin? Rabbits screwing on one of his arms. It's 2 rabbits having sex.
You can't see this. Should I put up the photograph?
Put up the photo right now.
Okay,
I want you to look at this closely.
This is the picture that you sent me, but it's not obviously a full picture.
No, it's not. But I'm just telling you what's
Okay.
on there. It's on one side of his body. On one side, it's two rabbits screwing. On his face, you can see clearly there's like a cardinal, a bird cardinal tattooed on the side of his face. You don't see that on there, Robin?
Yes, you can see the cardinal.
I don't get the cardinal on Larry Bird's face. He played for Indiana State. Didn't play for any team named the Cardinals that I know of. So he's got a cardinal tattooed on his face. First of all, can you ever imagine Larry Bird having a tattoo of any kind? First of all, he has no tattoos. So the tattoos are all over him, including a big spider web on his shoulder blade, right?
Yep.
And you look at the picture and you're saying, I get artistic
It's got
license.
the neck tattoo. What does it say on the neck?
I don't know. I think it's it's an homage to the guy that the Sixers signed
And then
that
across
sounded
his
like America's
knuckles-
house guest.
Across his knuckles, it says bird. Oh, because it's a bird?
Why a
Maybe?
cardinal though?
I don't know.
So anyway, this is a disgrace. This is Larry Bird.
And then it says Hoosier
Right.
around his neck.
Yeah. And again, there's a difference between doing a mural in the state where the guy is a hero and having fun with it and then making it a mockery.
You know what's even more of a disgrace?
Right.
Is that she took artistic license with the tattoos and everything else, and then she left that haircut.
Well, you can't do anything about the haircut. I mean, that's realistic.
Like, if you're going to go modern and do something different, why leave that haircut?
Now, now his agent, his people, Larry Bird's people, talked to this artist.
Yeah.
And they said, listen, Larry's okay if you leave like Indiana on there, even though he doesn't have a tattoo that says Indiana, because he's from Indiana. He is he's proud to be from Indiana. Right. He was a hero. So they go to her and say, listen, Larry's okay. He's got a brand. Larry Bird's brand is not inked up all over the place. And so they asked her if she would just take most of the tattoos off and you can leave one. And now she says she'll think about it. What do you mean think about it? What do you got to think about? I don't give a shit if you're an artist. You don't take those liberties in the name of art to try to pay homage to someone. You're ridiculing him. Am I wrong here, Robin? Am I wrong? Could you imagine her doing that to any other athlete in any other city and taking that kind of creative license under the guise of, well, I'm an artiste. I'm an artiste.
Well, because I am an artist of sorts.
So am I.
And it's really all about intention. So if her intention, like if she thought that this
I don't
was
think
not,
her intention was to
Right.
rip him. I think that she thought it was going to be cool because she was going to update it. This isn't the
Right.
Birdman, Chris Anderson.
But see, here's the
what's
problem. Here's the thing.
That's
with
a great one. Damn it, Robin 50 says, I think she was confused between Larry Bird and Chris Birdman Anderson,
Yes.
who got all the neck tattoos and got all freaked out and shit.
See, here's the problem with artists, though, is that when they do some kind of work of art and then you criticize that, that's like criticizing their baby. That's like, so if she meant this as an homage and she truly did not feel that this was going to be insulting at all, and then all of a sudden you tell her, this is rude, this is insulting, you are then insulting her.
Now, apparently there's been an update, and they've gotten together with it. The story that I read earlier this morning, and it's obvious she's taking a lot of backlash on this. Again, what she did isn't racist, isn't misogynistic. She thought it was cool because she's an artist.
Right.
And she said she didn't want to do the exact picture
Well,
on
she did
Sports
not.
Illustrated because then she would be violating a copyright because the Sports Illustrated picture of Larry Bird on that 77 cover was copyrighted. So she said she didn't want to face any kind of licensing problem, so she figured she would mix it up a little bit. And even Larry Bird's people said it's not about tattoos per se. Leave the Indiana one on there, but just take the face tats and all the other spider webs and that stuff. And apparently they're working something out. I know the story, Dean. The Larry Bird is based on the 77 Illustrated. I said this. I already laid this all out. Are you paying attention? Hello? Are you paying attention to the words that are coming out of my mouth? I explained the whole story. It's from the 77 Sports Illustrated cover story that probably even Jose would know. Remember that cover. And so the artist took liberty. And now the people, his people, that he doesn't like that. So just take the damn tats off. Take the whole damn thing down. What's so hard about that? But the way I read her quotes, it almost sounded like she had an attitude about it. Well, listen,
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'll consider it. I'll talk to them. Hopefully they didn't have to go and pay her to fix this problem. Because if they did, if they bamboozled her and tried to get her into doing the right thing, then that's wrong too. That's just bullshit. I'll tell you that right now. You didn't post that before I said it, Dean. You're full of shit. Stinking, lousy, rotten bastard.
Boys.
Okay.
Behave.
When an artist says, we'll see, what does that tell you right there, Robin? That's one of her quotes. We'll see. We'll see what? We'll see what? Jules Muck? I would call her a muck grinder, Robin, because that's her last name.
Oh, that's what there's a heart with a name Muck Rock through it.
Yeah, I don't understand, because that's her name. Yeah. Okay. So that's the artist's signature.
That's why I was trying to figure it out.
Muck is her last name.
Gotcha.
Not Muck Raker. That would be most of the modern day media. That's good Muck Raker knowledge. Not Moonraker, of course, the great James Bond film. Pardon me.
You're going to have to do another one of the sinus
I know. I'm going to have
rinse.
to do a sinus rinse. I'll do it off the air, though.
Yeah. Once on the air is enough. Or actually, in this case, it was twice. Once with manual and once with the machine, which works incredibly well, by the way. I used it.
If I were Larry Bird's people, and I saw this artist, Miss Muck, you know what I'd say to her?
Lick my asshole. How about that?
Exactly. And then I would also say...
Catch me outside. How about that?
And I'd also say...
We have the meat.
Why would you put rabbits having sex on anybody? Rabbits screwing on a tattoo?
Makes no sense.
I don't even think the most methed up meth head moron would ever get a tattoo of two rabbits screwing on any of their part of their body.
I'm trying to think, does Larry Bird have a lot of kids? How many kids? I mean,
I don't know, Robin. I don't get it.
You kind of you kind of try to figure out what it could possibly be in reference to. Speaking of possibly in reference to, did you hear about what the Dolphins did during practice the other day?
Yeah, I love this story. I love trolling. I don't like trolling all the time. I love proper trolling. This is part of our NFL update, ladies and gentlemen. You know that Steve Ross, who is the owner of the Miami Dolphins, who obviously is a big Republican guy and has a house on the Hamptons with all the other rich schmucks in the world. Not that there's anything wrong with that if you happen to be a rich schmuck and have enough money to buy a house on the Hamptons. Some of my best friends have houses on the Hamptons, although not invited up there.
I know. Shit, why aren't we invited if they do?
Because they're scumbags, or I'm a scumbag. But anyway, so Steve Ross, they found out that he was going to have a fundraiser for Donald Trump at his estate up there in the Hamptons. And so then everybody went crazy. Oh, my God, he owns this. He owns Equinox, the gym. He owns the Soul Cycle. Boycott. The guy's evil. And so that shit went on for a couple days. Then one of his own players on his team ripped him.
Well,
saying that, I can't support this, blah, 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 blah.
Well, this was in direct...
It was Kenny Stills.
Right.
Kenny Stills is the player who was mad at his owner, and I hate to use the term his owner because they don't like that either around the National Football League. The team's owner.
Correct.
He's now the governors, I guess, just like the NBA.
And this was in reference to Jay-Z...
Right, so Jay-Z...
joining the NFL...
he actually bailed out of that today, Steve Ross. He was on the Police Brutality Commission or whatever else they have. And I don't have a problem with that. They can have any committees or what? The Equality Committee or whatever it is. So Steve Ross did that. And then, of course, Jay-Z got into a partnership with the NFL, and then a lot of people were denouncing Jay-Z as being a sellout, a guy who's a billionaire, a self-made billionaire, who wants to be involved and hopefully buy an NFL franchise one day.
And so Kenny Stills criticized Jay-Z.
Yeah, called him an Uncle Tom and all the other
Jay-Z
stuff.
had comments about the kneeling because he formed this social justice partnership with the league, and he was meeting with Goodell. And so Kenny Stills criticized Jay-Z for that.
Because Jay-Z, who happens to be a wealthy black man who came from nothing, who wants to be an NFL owner, which people complain about the NFL not having enough minority representation in the ownership.
So Jay-Z comes out and he says, we're done with that. That's his. This was almost a direct quote. He's like, we're done with the whole kneeling thing. That's over and past. There's no point in doing that anymore.
Right. And players spoke out, and they have a right to.
Right.
Kenny Stills, Colin Kaepernick, wherever he's selling T-shirts out of a car in a parking lot, he has a right to say whatever he wants and be an activist and do whatever the hell he wants. So to troll Kenny Stills.
The coach.
Well, I don't know if the coach ordered it.
It was the coach.
Robin, I know. I have the story. Brian Flores is being... People are saying that Brian Flores, the new Miami Dolphin coach, told the house DJ, because, every practice now has to have a house DJ.
Right, and he controls what the playlist is going to be, apparently, every single day.
And so Brian Flores apparently asked the DJ, who saved his life last night on the dance floor, I think it's the same guy, and they played how many Jay-Z songs in a row?
I believe it was 9.
No, I'm supposed to play 4 first, Robin. Unless you understand how the show works.
So,
not 1, not 2, not 3, not 5, not 6, not 7 Jay-Z's. 8 Jay-Z's in a row, baby.
9.
No, 8 I heard.
I heard it was 9.
Where did you hear 9 from?
From Cameron Wolf, who was there.
I saw 8 earlier.
Okay.
He was counting them down yesterday during practice.
He was counting them down.
There were media people standing there when they heard the first Jay-Z song. And then it went, no, there's another one. Now they would tweet out, there's another Jay-Z and another Jay-Z song.
Cameron
and they have a
Wolf,
playlist now.
Yes, Cameron Wolf says, the playlist to start the Dolphins practice. Show Me What You Got by Jay-Z.
Show me what you got, pretty lady.
Then
Show me what you got.
Brooklyn, We Go Hard by Jay. I'm going to say it because that's the name of the song. Niggas in Paris by Jay and Kanye West. And Run This Town by Jay and Rihanna, all in a row, would be an incredible coincidence after Kenny Stills' comments about Jay yesterday. Then, a few minutes later, he goes, make that 5 in a row. On to the next one by Jay-Z going on right now. Then, a few minutes later, he goes, oh my God, another one. No Church in the Wild by Jay and Kanye. Then, a few minutes later, 99 Problems going now.
And the Dolphins ain't one.
Yeah, this is either some big-time trolling or the DJ is the biggest Jay fan ever.
Show me what you got, pretty lady. I love that. That's one of those underplayed Jay-Z. I wonder if he's going to do it here at the Made in America Festival coming up here in our great city next weekend, I believe. Love that song, man. That's ridiculous, man.
And then
is that wrong for the coach to do that? I mean, Jay-Z's the shit, man.
He is, and I mean, it's. I don't know. It depends on how people can take jokes. I don't know. There's a lot of people who can't take jokes anymore.
Yeah. Peeping, watching, streets.
That's just the streets is watching. Yeah.
The streets is watching.
The streets is watching, Robin.
Check. Check. Look, if I shoot you, I'm brainless. But if you shoot me, then you famous. What's a nigga to do when the streets is watching? Blocks keep clocking, waiting for you to break. Make your first mistake, can't ignore it. That's the fastest way to get extorted. But my time is money, and 25 I can't afford it. Beef assorted like the diver. Sharpless as you bought it. I pull a slide back and
let's say we go across the pond for a little action in Paris, Robin. Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of which, I have a London Underground story, Tony.
You stepped all over Jay-Z, Robin.
What's 50 grand to to a motherfucker like me, can you please remind me? Ball so hard, this shit crazy. Y'all don't know that don't shit phase. The Nets could go 0 for 82 when I look at you like this shit gravy. Ball so hard, this shit weird. We ain't even Pope be here. Ball so hard since we here. It's only right that we be fair. Psycho, I'm libo to go Michael. Take your pick. Jackson, Tyson, Jordan, Game 6. Ball so hard, got a broke clock. Rollies that don't tick tock. All the Mars that's losing time. Hidden behind all these big rocks. Ball so hard, I'm shocked too. I'm supposed to be locked up too. You escape, but I escape. You be in Paris getting fucked up too. Ball so hard, let's get faded. Liberties for like 6 days. Gold bottles, soul models, spilling ace on my sick days.
That's some good shit right there, Robin.
Since we were in Paris, can we go to London really quick?
Let's go to London. Let's go to Spain. Not Sarah Spain, of course, at ESPN.
I have a London update that I think every single place in the United States needs to adopt right now.
Let's go to London, baby. Not the young thug, J. Cole, London. Maybe I'll play this in the background, Robin. We're into our hardcore
This is
gangsta
news. This is a news and sports update.
I know, but
Tony
give me a
Bruno.
little bit of the London from Young Thug.
So now, as you know,
Yeah.
London is well known for its subway system. It's called, what is it called, Tony, in London?
The Tube.
The Tube, or the underground.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Well, here in the U.S., I don't know about elsewhere, but oftentimes when they have the announcements coming on over the intercom as to what train is coming and where it's going and stuff, you can't.
Yeah, they have the announcers.
Yeah, you can't understand them. They're like, bleh. I mean, go do your best impression, Tony, of what they sound like right now.
Now boarding on track 8 is the local to Queens, local Queens. Boarding now. Actually,
But,
that's too
decipherable.
That's
yes.
too decipherable.
Well, because
You could
the
actually-
enunciation is my game.
Yes. Well, here somebody has taken this and gone to town with it for their live updates, and it's free. Uh-oh.
Everything's falling down now. London Bridge is falling down.
Tony, you need to pound on this.
Pound it, pound it, pound it. Damn. This is bullshit.
You need to push it in, push it in.
Real good.
push it in, push it in harder.
This is what happens when Luigi comes in here and plays with my mic.
Seriously. God.
Son of a bitch. All right, I think it's better now.
Okay. So.
My computer's falling down. Did you push this camera back? Is that what you
No.
did, Robin?
No.
Yes, you did.
I didn't touch it.
Is this camera on me?
So, this is what happened, and people are recording it, and it is fan-frickin-tastic.
Let's go to the Tube now.
Let's go to the Tube and listen to what... Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Listen to what the Tube announcer in London sounds like, ladies and gentlemen.
Which station stop is this?
Well, we'll hear.
Welcome all passengers to Match Station DLR Arena. Welcome to the main event. Train now flighting out of the platform line corner is your Lewisham service. Falcon and Canary Wharf, Cutty Park, and Greenwich. This train needs no introduction. Weighing in at 600 tons of pure steel, always on time with 0 delays. Introducing the undefeated, undisputed best train service in the world, Iron DLR.
Wait for it.
Are you ready now for 12 rounds of DLR traveling? Let's get ready to travel!
Michael Buffer just went over there, grabbed that guy by the throat, and threw him on the tracks.
Let's get ready to travel!
I think that's a violation of, Michael Buffer, the Philly guy, again. Michael Buffer, the ring announcer, has Let's Get Ready to Rumble.
Yes, but
copyrighted.
he's not saying it. He's not saying Let's Get
I
Ready
think
to
that's
Rumble.
an absolute ripoff
He is
of Michael
saying,
Buffer.
let's get ready to travel.
The undisputed.
I freaking love it.
That is absolutely brilliant. Wonder if Michael Buffer. See, now there's a difference between protecting your copyrights, which I'm all in favor of, except when we play music here and get in trouble, or ripping off somebody's shtick.
So this was, apparently it was the guy, whoever was at the bank tube station.
The bank tube?
The bank tube station
Is that like
in
the tube?
London.
I'm at the tube steak station all the time. It's got good shit there.
And he was giving homage to Michael Buffer, and it is fan-frickin-tastic. Everybody needs to be doing this now.
I agree, except they get sued. I wonder if Michael Buffer has to know about it. He's got to be laughing at that.
Why
that's
would
hilarious.
you not?
That's Michael Buffer's internationally known. He is the most famous ring announcer of all time. I know there was other guys, Lennon, and Michael Buffer's brother does a lot of announcing, UFC and boxing. But that's awesome. Give me a little bit of I'm going to play a little bit of the Clash, Robin, because we're playing a lot of hip hop and R&B today. We got to get the Clash, Robin.
I do know the Clash.
Can you bring this up here?
It's up.
I don't hear nothing. Oh, here it is. Here it comes. You know what this song is called, right, Robin? It's London Calling. London Calling. Let's get ready to travel!
I just want to, let's get ready to travel! I want it.
The Australian version. Oh, you cunts, the bloody train's coming. No, that's that was more of my Scottish accent.
Yeah. Trevor from the 2-3, we got diversity in the music today, yo.
You're damn right, man.
Train in the Vein is a better song. I'm not familiar with Train in the Vein.
Is that like Insane in the Membrane?
I don't know.
Train in the Vein?
Or Play the Tubes by Kevin Pipata is actually asking for that.
Love the Tubes. I gave you a little London.
Pipala, not Pipata. That's an L, not an A.
My favorite Tube song is She's a Beauty, though. Beautiful, man. You remember this song, Robin?
That's right up your alley.
She's a beauty, man. She's a beauty.
Now,
crank this up a little bit now, Robin.
I do have two. No, I have two separate.
Crank this up a little bit, Robin. Come on. Love the Tube.
I have two separate Florida updates, Tony Bruno.
We'll get to it. Relax. We'll play. Actually, Robin will be making a London broil a little later on tonight, even though I hate them.
You have never had my London broil because you keep refusing to let me
London
buy
broil's
it.
too. It's too.
Not if you make
It's
it right.
not quality meat. I need the meats. I need the meats.
Not if you make it right, Tony Bruno. You got to marinate it. I can make a London broil that will melt in your mouth.
Robin.
You know what? We did not mention anything about NBA because NBA's, not really have anything going on right now. But
No, we did. We had Larry Bird and his NBA.
Well, true. But not about any games. But we have a
There
Kawhi.
are no games, Robin.
I know. That's why I'm saying. But we have a Kawhi Leonard update,
Yes, we
which
do.
is actually freaking phenomenal. And he's one of those guys that you've always talked about how fantastic he
Absolutely.
is. He is.
But don't interrupt my tubes segment right here, Robin. We got a
You know
half
what?
an hour.
I want to snip your tubes right
We
now.
have. Doesn't matter. I can't procreate anyway.
Well,
Not that I know of.
yeah,
But
I think you can.
you never let something marinate. You never let any kind of the bits
That's
marinate.
exactly what I told you about my London broil. You never let me do it either.
I don't like. I only want the finest cuts of meats and cheeses. I don't want any crappy steaks that you have to overcook. Like London broil to me is too stringy. It's too gristly. Don't give me any of that
You've
crap.
never had mine. That's why. Oh, we have a new subscription via Twitch Prime by Kyle TPN President.
Thank you, Kyle.
TPN President.
Welcome aboard, my friend. As you know, if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to this show for absolutely nothing.
Zip.
Normally
zero,
$4.99 a month, which is incredible enough, and you get all the
Yes.
accoutrement, all the extra stuff.
Access to the blurp sounds, your walk-up sounds,
Exactly right.
your masks, all sorts of stuff, which you would not have access to if you were just a follower. But if you're a follower, we love you as well. We love you long time. You do not have to purchase a subscription.
No,
just
you
to
can
be able to
listen, but
watch
just
the
make
show.
sure you follow, tell your friends, and you know we're on every day. And by the way, speaking of, because I'm one of those guys. I'm not a snob. When I go into supermarket or a butcher, I look at the steaks. I'm sorry, I'm not doing flank steaks. I'm not doing even sirloin. Sirloin, when I was young and poor, that was like, oh my God, we're getting a sirloin steak. Sirloin steak is garbage.
Well, here's the
Sirloin
difference.
is garbage, Robert. I'm sorry.
No, here's the difference. If you have a really, really, really good cut of meat.
Yes, like filet.
Like fillets and stuff like that.
Or New York
You can do
strip.
practically nothing with it. You just sear it and it's good to go.
Exactly. You set it and forget it. You got a ribeye.
Right. If
you get a New York strip.
If you have a different cut of meat.
The cheap stuff.
The less good.
No, the less good.
The less good
The
stuff.
stringy.
Then you
have to
prepare it.
overcook it. That's what's
No,
good about pork.
You don't have to overcook it.
Yes, you do.
You just have to marinate. You have to prep it a little bit more. And I will make you a good London broil, and you will be
No,
delighted.
I've never had London broil that I've liked.
Well,
there's
I have
something
made it.
about the texture of it. It's got to be. It's got to be. I'm so spoiled by prime rib and filet mignon and a good New
You
York
heard it,
strip
ladies and gentlemen.
and a good
He's
ribeye.
spoiled.
No, because
Spoiled.
once you have something good, and I wait. I don't go buy it every weekend. I wait for if I see filet mignon on sale for like $10 a pound, I'm buying a whole bunch of it. If I see New York strip or if I see ribeye and it's on sale that week, I'm
It's
buying
yours.
it.
It's yours.
If I see sirloin or flank steak and all that other cheap crap, I'm saying no. Sorry. No, sorry. Now you grind up the sirloin and you make a burger. That's okay. You put a sirloin steak on a grill. It's gristly, it's fatty, and it's not the good kind of fat. Like the good thing about pork, when you buy like a pork butt or a pork shoulder, and it's got all the fat and stuff in it, when you slow cook that thing, then you're just peeling it all off and it's all good. There's a lot of cuts of beef that you do that and it's not good. It's still stringy and gristly. Sorry, that's just me. People can eat that stuff whenever they want.
I don't make stringy meat. I don't eat stringy meat.
By the way, all of our friends in India listening, just pretend you're not hearing this segment.
Now back to Kawhi Leonard, whom we love.
Have the meat.
Exactly.
Kawhi Leonard, I'm sure, has the meats
Well,
too.
of course. I mean, he's an NBA player. What's the matter with you?
But Kawhi Leonard is one of our favorite NBA players. Great guy.
He was in Toronto, too, for at least a year. Yes.
I know. But he is just... He goes in, he plays the game, he is respectful, he doesn't allow anything to distract him, and he does good in the neighborhood. And Kawhi Leonard donated.
How many? Not one, not two, not three.
Not even like 100,000. We are talking 1 million backpacks.
1 million backpacks?
1 million backpacks to students in Southern California. And he is originally from the Moreno Valley area, and Moreno Valley Elementary School is where he attended, and he kicked...
They have 1 million students in that school?
No, he kicked off his big 1 million backpack donation to Southern California students by returning back to his school and starting giving out the backpacks to all of the students there. And there is a clip of him, and it is so cool. Hold on a second. Where is it?
See, these are the kinds of stories I like. By the way, in a related story, Nancy Pelosi has just announced that she will be donating 1 million backpacks to Antifa groups all over the great nation of ours, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, so not to be outdone by Kawhi Leonard. All of you Antifa people, now you have to provide your own helmets and masks and black jeans, but the backpacks that are required to carry your concrete slabs, your little whips and your little things that you throw, and your milkshakes and your tear gas containers, you have to provide those for yourself. I'm sorry.
Here's Kawhi talking about this damn computer. I swear to God, Luigi's computer.
We're going to throw that sumbitch right out the window.
I hate to be ungrateful, but
you are ungrateful, Robin.
My community.
Hold on, let me go back.
Going to the NBA, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to give back to my community. That's why I'm so happy to be back home. I'm able to be hands-on in the community. Where I grew up and where it started for me. Going to the NBA, this is what I wanted to do.
That's so cool.
It is awesome. That's what you do.
That's what you do.
When you come from a bad neighborhood, you make yourself you obviously have God-given talents, and then you excel and you become a superstar and you make a lot of money, and you help other people, the less fortunate people.
A million
1
backpacks.
million backpacks.
That's pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
That's not just $1 million. I mean, a backpack is going to cost.
I'm sure he's got partners involved,
I'm
charity
sure.
partners.
Well, I mean, it had all the backpacks have clippers on them, and
it's awesome.
I think it's awesome.
That'll be the first time 1 million people wore anything with clippers on it. I mean, that's the
know.
other thing that's.
It's a smart way to get fans. You know, you
There
get
are
them young.
Listen, you know how many people there are in California and around the world who are NBA fans of certain teams? I guarantee you there are not 1 million Clipper fans in the entire country.
Well, here's the thing. If you think about it, the Clippers, brilliant. I'm sure that they partnered with him. I'm sure that they paid for a lot of it, and they paid to have the Clippers logo on there. Now, all of those kids, 1 million kids, start them off being fans early.
They're going to be fans they're going to be fans of Kawhi Leonard. And obviously in LA, you've got the Lakers and the Clippers battling for supremacy, and the Lakers are like the Giants are in the Bay Area, where they're more Giant fans than A's fans, even though the A's have had much more success as a franchise historically, other than going back to the New York Giants. But the Oakland A's, the bastard stepchild. The Raiders, the bastard stepchildren to the 49ers in the Bay Area. It's the elites against the regular people. That's what this is all about. This is class status here. By the way, 91 Sixers says, when Tony was in L.A., I remember when he sent 1,000 backpacks back to the Philadelphia kids. No, I did send about 100 body bags, though, to the Philadelphia mayor's office, though.
Before we go to Florida.
Yes.
One more sports update, and
I'll give you an update on the Major League Baseball out-of-town scoreboard.
We have a Ronda Rousey update.
We have a Ronda Rousey update?
Yes.
Is that the finger one?
Yes.
No, we're not going to show that
I'm
one.
showing it. I'm showing because most people are not going to show it. They're going to have this blurred out because they say it's too disgusting. So if you are bothered by blood or anything like that,
dismemberment and body parts.
Well, I have a dismemberment story next.
Okay.
So it ties in with my
We
Florida
want to welcome all our dismembered followers
This
today.
is not pretty, but this goes. This was a shooting accident, right? This was.
I don't know. I saw the picture of it, and I'm like, dude, you know what I thought of?
I'll have to look.
I thought of JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul, who blew up his hand when he was with the Giants playing with fireworks a few years ago. We never actually saw the bloody stump. I don't know. I guess there were some pictures of it. So what happened to her? Because I saw the picture. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
she's in a hospital room, and she's showing her index finger.
So she was shooting 911. Which is, I guess, a
she
film?
was shooting. No, she's shooting the TV series 911.
Okay, TV series. She was filming
the one on Fox 911.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what. Yeah. So when she was shooting 911, the TV show, she's on that.
Right. And so she. Let me just look at it really quick because. Okay, it was a boat door that nearly severed her finger. So. Almost everywhere that you see this story, they are going to show you
her finger, which basically was almost
it's blurred
severed.
Blurred out. But I'm going to show the real thing, ladies and gentlemen. So beware.
Viewer discretion.
Viewer discretion is advised.
It's pretty gross. I mean, it's almost the tip of her index finger. Is it? No, it's her middle finger, isn't it?
It's her middle finger. Yeah.
Now she won't be able to flip anybody off.
It
Who
is
gives
her
her
middle
crap?
finger that is almost completely severed.
Why is she sitting in a hospital bed where her finger is basically almost ripped off at the top part from the first knuckle?
Well, she had it in ice. This was before the doctors came in.
And you're going to take a picture of that rather than have it. Why?
Well, because she was probably waiting for the doctor to come in to the room. So now they're she wanted to get a photograph of what it actually looked like before.
That's gross, man.
It is pretty gross.
That is gross. Even JPP says, "What are you doing with that shit? Don't post that stuff." Don't. And they're actually blurring it out now?
Yeah, they're blurring it out everywhere. This is the only
Well, you know why they're blurring it out? Because she's flipping the middle finger. So you're not supposed to always blur out the middle finger, whether it's intact or partially dismembered.
But it is brutal. So there you
I'm
have
not
it,
laughing.
folks. It's not a funny matter. I mean, I feel bad for her.
Yeah, that has to hurt.
Oh man.
Luckily, she said, I told you I almost cut off the top of my thumb with an axe once. And don't ask me any questions about it anymore.
Now,
by the way, we want to also give a shout out to FMall Tony, who has subscribed with Twitch Prime. Now he's subscribed for how many months? 4 months now. Let me give him a roaring round of applause.
Nice job.
FMall Tony, baby. FMall, buddy.
FMall. And that's with Twitch Prime, so he's been doing that for 4 months for free.
Exactly right.
If you have Amazon Prime, you can get your Twitch Prime for free.
Even Bernie Sanders just heard that this was free and he was going to subscribe. But then again, he didn't want to have to pay the $100 a year for Amazon Prime because he's all upset about Amazon and all these other rich guys who don't pay their fair share of taxes.
Well, since we are talking about dismemberment, let's go to Florida. I have a Florida story that goes right up this alley, Tony Bruno.
It's about damn time.
It is about damn time, Robin. You've really been lax today. Not LAX, the symbol for Los Angeles International Airport.
I've just been sloughing off.
And we don't even have a
what's in the box?
segment today, do we?
No, we don't. But that's not our fault. That's our listeners' fault who haven't been sending us anything.
Sons of...
So, hey, what can I do?
Down to Florida.
As this Florida story plays, remember, you can go on to our Amazon wish list and send us whatever you like. It doesn't even have to be from on there, by the way. Our address is on there, too.
It could be underwear, accoutrement.
Florida.
Subscriptions to the Jam of the Month Club. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go down there, down to Florida. Your correspondent from Hernando County's finest, Miss Robin.
Well, it's not Hernando County, but close enough, Tony. It is in Highland County.
Highland?
Yes. The sheriff's department made a statement about an arrest that they made, saying that this might be a little sensitive. You could even say that it's kind of nuts.
Nuts.
A Florida man, because of course it's a Florida man.
Unless it's a Florida woman.
Was arrested for allegedly performing an illegal castration surgery on another man who he had met on a fetish website for eunuchs.
Oh, no way. No.
There is a fetish website for eunuchs.
Not Joe Eunuchs. No.
Gary Van Rijswijk.
Is he Dutch? Probably.
Looks like he has a Dutch heritage.
Anytime you're thinking of Dutch, you're thinking of fetishes and freaks and people who look different.
Well, you know, there is a
different.
fetish for everything. 74 years old, said that he told deputies that he was performing a castration, and they found another man on the bed with a towel over his groin, which was bleeding heavily. And nearby, there was a pink container which held 2 body parts that had recently been much closer.
Who the hell
to
volunteers to be castrated? We have people who should be castrated who aren't getting castrated, but people now hook up on fetish websites and then say, "Hey, buddy, how about you take a little down off the little off the top down there?"
I mean, hello. This is never...
It's a castration sensation, baby.
Last time I checked, ladies and gentlemen, there is no DIY castration kit available on
Are you
Amazon.
sure there's no YouTube videos to show you how to do this right?
It is just... This is not a good idea. Do not try this at home.
A fetish site for eunuchs?
A fetish site for eunuchs. Apparently,
and no, Unix is not a computer company.
No. No, it is not. So Van Rijswijk apparently made it his own operating room in his house, complete with medical equipment, painkillers, and a camera to record the procedure.
We have tape, actually, right now.
It's going to be on tape.
We have some tape now, just audio only at this particular time of the procedure. Let's go to the tape. Wait for it.
I'm waiting for it.
That's the guy right there. Hear him?
Oh, screaming? I thought you were going to start playing Detachable Penis.
No, listen to this guy.
Well, you will all be happy to know that...
He had to put first of all, if you're doing this, you have to have some right music if you're castrating a man.
You will happy to know that the victim is in stable condition. Now, but here, this is so. Van Ryswyk told investigators he had met the victim on a dark web castration fetish site called
love the dark web.
eunuch.com.
No, it was not Dick Trickle, though. He has his own issues. What's it called? I love the dark web. That's where I go to hook up with the sisters all the time.
So get this. I mean, would you believe somebody if somebody told you that he told the victim that he had performed castration on animals and had even removed one of his own testicles in 2012?
Oh, did he? Was he the guy that took care of Lance Armstrong too and John Kruk?
Unbelievable. So, lady, if you're into that,
Are you
if
serious?
you're into that, don't go to somebody's house. Just don't.
First of all, this had to be consensual.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's not like he kidnapped the guy
No.
and then took him into his
but
house.
he did lie. He lied about
What did
his
he lied?
He lied about his expertise and saying that he could
Oh,
do-
really? No, because if you're on a eunuch website on the dark web and you actually respond to an ad for a guy who says he's got a lot of beaucoup experience performing castrations and you think, hey, I've been thinking about this castration thing. And, I haven't been able to find someone with the necessary experience to allow him to go down there and basically garrote me. But when I go there and I find out that he's really not on the up and up, so to speak, about performing castrations while you wait in the privacy of his own home.
Yeah. Now, I guess Van Ryswyk also told the sheriff that he had performed a similar procedure on a man in a local motel a few years ago. That turned out pretty much like this one, but could not remember the other man's name.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah. So, needless to say, he is being held on suspicion of felony practicing medicine without a license.
Oh, so it's okay. So if he had a license and he was experienced above and beyond animal castration,
it would have been fine.
Then he would have been fine. There
He
would have been no
fine.
charges filed.
Yeah.
You can now meet somebody on the internet on a fetish dark web website.
Absolutely.
And say, hey, why don't you come over and let's do a little castration tonight, baby? I'll give you a couple drinks. You won't feel a thing, and it's all good.
Wait, but this is the last. Here's the last quote from the sheriff. Can I wait for it? Are you ready? Are you
I'm
ready?
ready, yeah.
Get the ready, Tony.
That's called a rim shot, Robin.
Rim
How
shot.
long have you been around this show?
The sheriffs added Van Ryswyk had dropped the ball on this one.
Oh!
There you have it, folks.
It would be better
Happy
if you
for-
actually brought my soundboard back up again,
Oh,
Robin.
that would be better.
Yeah, get ready for it.
I had to turn down the Florida thing because you were playing the other music.
Ridiculous. That hurts now. Now I have to touch myself to make sure I'm okay.
Make sure that everything's okay down there. Well, since we're already in Florida, let's just stay down there for a second. And I want to show you this in
Wait,
Panama.
before we do that and finish that up, there's got to be a better ending to this story.
Oh, better?
I don't want to just leave it hanging, so to speak.
I don't think it was hanging anymore. I think it was completely removed.
What was the guy's name? John Van Dahmer?
John
Claude Van Ryswyk. Didn't he play for the Flyers? Oh, no, that's John Van Beesbrook. No, that's the goaltender who played for the Rangers
Call him the
and
Heist.
the. You're proud of the Dutch now, Robin?
Hey.
Are you proud of your
know-
Dutchies?
Attention.
Wait a minute, I gotta get rid of this stupid.
Oh,
I gotta play one last thing. For
one
this.
last thing, just to give people.
We gotta finish this thing off just right.
Finish it off right.
I don't want to
You
leave this
can't-
thing open-ended.
Yeah, you can't leave people dangling here. Tony.
I don't want to leave everybody out on a stump or on a lurch. We'll play this one of Robin's favorite songs. One of her favorite groups growing up in the Netherlands.
Well, I actually, not when I was growing up. This was one of my kids' favorite songs. My son especially thought this was hysterical.
By King Missile, ladies and gentlemen. Not
There's a
King
lot of-
Harvest.
There's a lot of talking, though, at the beginning.
It's okay. You got to get the mood right here.
I woke up this morning with a bad hangover, and my penis was missing again. This happens all the time. It's detachable. This comes in handy a lot of the time. I can leave it home when I think it's going to get me in trouble. Or
Great
I can
song.
rent it out when I don't need it. But now and then I go to a party, get drunk, and the next morning I can't, for the life of me, remember what I did with it. First I looked around my apartment and I couldn't find it. So I called up the place where the party was. They hadn't seen it either. I asked them to check the medicine cabinet because For some reason, I leave it there sometimes, but not this time. So I told them if it pops up to let me know. I called a few people who were at the party, but they were no help either. I was starting to get desperate. I really don't like being without my penis for too long. It makes me feel like less of a man, and
I hear you.
I really hate having to sit down every time I take a leak. After a few hours of searching the house and calling everyone I could think of, I was starting to get very depressed. So
I hear they're going to be
I
at
went to
Fantasy
the
Fest
Kia
this weekend
and
here at the Xfinity Live. Plenty of detachable penises. Because there won't be any insertable vaginas, that's for sure, from what I'm hearing from my sources.
Although I do have to admit that every now and then a detachable penis does not sound like a horrible idea.
First of all, there's no singing in that song except
I
the
know,
background
it's just,
singers.
they're just talking. It's a really. But
Was that the original white boy rap song back in the day?
When my son was 8 years old, he thut this was the funniest.
Yeah, you were
song
playing
ever.
that kind of stuff for your 8-year-old?
I didn't play it.
I want you to
Love the Divinals, don't you, Robin? This chick was hot too. She was dirty in a clean kind of way.
But I want to get back to this since we're almost out of time.
No, we're
Tony.
not, Robin. We're relaxed.
I don't want anybody else. When I think about castration, I touch myself.
Well, you know, this next story, if you have your testicles,
Yes.
you're going to want to grab them.
That's why I'm playing I Touch Myself by the Divinals.
Yeah, so we're going to stay down in Florida just for a second, where we're going to go to Panama City Beach this time.
Oh, I love Panama City Beach. On
Panama
the Gulf
City-
Coast, baby.
Now, you know, and everybody out there knows how much Tony, Bruno, and I love amusement parks.
Damn right we
We
do.
are all over the rides, the atmosphere,
The bitches. I mean, everything there.
all of the roller coasters.
Mhm.
Now, there's certain things that we don't like doing. We don't like the
I don't
spinny
like the
rides.
spinny things, yeah.
And if there's a lot of backward stuff,
Yeah.
we can do without that.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that you and I have not exactly been
Big fans.
enthusiastic of is the bungee.
Yeah, I don't do that bungee
Now
shit.
I've done where I get dropped
Yeah,
from
we
high above,
have to, but not bungee, where you gotta bounce
the
back
bounce,
up.
bounce. And but everybody's seen them where you get in a cage
Mhm.
and then they pull you all the way back.
Yep.
And then
They got that one in Florida when you're driving down near the Big Orange in Orlando area,
Right.
when you're in the Disney area, and they got that big one that gets pulled back, and then they let go, and the thing springs out, and
well,
and I say, why?
This
Why?
is one of those, Tony Bruno, and you will see why it is a very good idea that you and I have never gone and done these, nor will we ever
No.
do them again.
Be screaming like sissies, watch.
What's up? What's up?
Uh-oh.
Oh. Oh my God! That's some jinx in that. We just dodged death.
That sumbitch just busted up, man. That one. And boom goes the rubber band. Look at that thing. That thing's disintegrated.
The guy and the operator was ready to
Release the Kraken.
Right? I mean, they were within seconds from being shot off with one of them completely broken.
That's ridiculous. That's why I don't go any of those rides, especially the ones that go from city to city where they're not permanently set up and have constant maintenance. I wouldn't even go on those.
That means
Wow.
that's what Rebelman 9311. That's exactly what I said when I sent it to Tony. I was like, oh snap.
Oh, snap is right.
Damn.
By the way, Rebel Man says bungee. Some of that white people shit, lo.
But
LOL.
except those were two black dudes that were sitting in there.
Were the brothers in there?
There were brothers in there, which, by the way, are my favorite ones to watch when they're
brothers?
the brothers on the roller coasters.
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
they're crying and they're going, Mama, Mama. that is some pretty funny stuff, I gotta say. But now,
By the way, Trinity Lock says, I just joined Twitch because of one man. Tony Bruno.
Oh, that is a great job out of you, Trini Locke.
Thank you. Not Trini Lopez. Not Tone Loke, who I love, too, with the Funky Cole Medina.
Now, Trini Locke, we have to ask you, how did you find out about Twitch?
Exactly.
You should call in. We should take one last phone call from our
And what's our phone number, Robin? We didn't really pimp the phones today, did we?
Well, it's on the screen. It's 215-462-TONY. That's 215-462-8669. Trini Locke, you should call in.
Exactly right.
Just give us a quick little update of how you found the fabulous Twitch, the Tony Bruno Show on BrunoNation, live on twitch.tv.
Now, let me get you up to date. Let me get you high tonight and get you up to date on the Major League scoreboard, Robin. Because we can't finish the show when we got baseball action.
So we're already letting people know that we're going a few minutes over.
I'll let it marinate now. I've got to refresh the page. They are going to the bottom of the ninth inning down there in St. Petersburg in the La Grande Orange building, Tropicana Field, where it's never frozen. Fresh squeezed and no pulp, please. The Seattle Mariners leading the Tampa Bay Rays 6-5 as they go to the bottom of the ninth. Last chance for your Rays. Let's go Rays. Meanwhile, you know who's playing in that game? Aaron Nola's brother, but he flied out to the right fielder in that ball game for your Seattle Mariners. White Sox still up 4-0 on the Twins in Minnesota. What's up with the Twins, man? White Sox 4, Twins nothing. They're in the bottom of the eighth right now in that ball game in Minnesota. What's up with the Twins? I think I already said that once. Colorado Rockies just getting underway. They're in the bottom of the first now, and they lead the Arizona Diamondbacks. 2-0. Again, bottom of the first inning. Arizona coming to bat, but the Rockies put up 2 in the top of the first inning to jump out on top. This is your YouTube watch-free game. So if you got YouTube and you're not scanning for how to unclog a toilet videos right now, you can check out Major League Baseball, or reasonable facsimile thereof, which is Rockies Arizona Diamondbacks. Is that all we had on the out-of-town scoreboard today? I thought there were more games than that when I was doing the updates earlier. All the other action coming up later on, Robin. Royals-Orioles. Plenty of sections still available. If you'd like to take your entire neighborhood, if you'd like to treat the entire city of Baltimore, if you'd like to get them off the streets and into the stadium, go watch the Orioles and Kansas City Royals night tonight. You can't go right. Pirates and Nationals later on in Pittsburgh. Rangers, Angels, actually in Texas at the ballpark. And then you got Phillies, Red Sox again. Smiley against Porcello. He makes a nice mushroom gravy, too, that Rick Porcello. Indians at the Mets again. Stroman. Grandpa Stroman against Plutko. Wasn't he in Animal House? Marlins and Braves later on in Atlanta. Julio Teheran. And then Brewers, Cardinals. Giants at the Cubs. Tigers at the Astros. Yankees, Athletics, and Blue Jays and the Dodgers. Bueller. And the Padres at the Cincinnati Reds earlier today. That game is over. Reds beat the Padres 4-3 this afternoon. And that's your Major League scoreboard today. You're not getting that anywhere else, except maybe on MLB Network or on ESPN or CBS or on your phone. You know what I'm saying? And yes, if you're looking for that YouTube video, it's not on YouTube, how to castrate your friend and family member on a you have to go to the dark web. Have you ever logged into the dark web, Robin?
I wouldn't even know how to log into the dark web.
Well, you can find out how to log into the dark web on YouTube. Then when you log into the dark web, you have to go to the fetish site for Unix.
Does it? I mean, okay.
Is it called Unix or Us? I mean, what's the name of the...
Unix. Was it Unix?
It's EU.
EUNUCH.
No, I don't think.
So far, Unix.com does not show anything.
There's no Unix.com?
Eunuch. Let me look at Eunuch.com.
Not Eunice Shriver. That's a different woman. That's a woman who was part of the Kennedy organization.
So if I type in either one of those, nothing comes up. So I guess you have to be on some special kind of a
Unix
dark
Are
web.
Us? Isn't that a chain that's reopening now after a couple of years of slow business? You know what a eunuch is, though, Robin, right?
I do. As a matter of fact, I do.
It's a man who's been castrated. Pretty much happens to every guy who gets married. About 15 years later, he's a eunuch.
In Italy, the Catholic Church used to castrate young boys who had especially nice voices. And
I think they do that now. They got caught doing that, didn't they?
They were called the castrati, and they were
castrati. Sounds good though. It sounds like a nice appetizer.
No.
And then you realize it's somebody's balls that just got cut off.
Yeah, well, poor young boys. Unfortunately, I mean, it was a prestigious thing that if your son had a beautiful voice, and then they became part of the castrati.
Well, it's a good thing I was born here, not in Sicily, before my mom
you
came
didn't have
over.
a good voice, so you never.
I had a lovely speaking voice and average intelligence. That's all I needed.
Yeah, so thankfully they don't do that anymore.
You're just what I needed.
And different, in different parts of the country, the sultans and kings that had harems, they would have castrated, aka eunuch guards, to guard their harem because, well, I mean, you can figure it out.
Hey, you know what they say. You know what they say, Robin.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
And then they did, and then they would castrate him.
Yeah.
And I believe that probably is painful. I don't care. And they didn't have
You think?
They didn't have epidurals and all those other kinds of drugs that could ease the pain.
I don't think it was a pleasant experience.
By the way, did you show the picture of the 74-year-old guy?
I did.
Looks like a sane guy to me and you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He looks really nice.
Real sane. Real. Looks like your neighbor next door kind of guy.
If you live in Holland, then you're a Dutchie. And he's from the Tampa Bay area. He was in Tampa Bay.
No, actually, so just so that you know, 91 Sixers, after becoming a eunuch, it is not your penis that gets taken off. It's just your testicles.
Exactly. Your balls to the wall,
So you
baby.
still have a penis. You just can't do much with it because it's the testicles, supposedly.
That's why they call a lot of guys eunuchs, jokingly, because they don't have any balls. You know what I'm saying? That's not literally. But when a guy's a wimp or he's like pussy whipped, so to speak, the term, or he's pushed around by his wife or girlfriend, they call them eunuchs.
Right.
Because the man basically has lost his balls.
And when there
Talking
are no
about
testicles,
balls.
there's no testosterone.
Exactly right.
And
then you can't go balls to the wall anymore.
No. And balls to the wall, is one of... Well, never mind.
One of my favorite songs back in the day.
Never mind.
It's been a ballsy show. By the way, one last thing, Robin.
Another? One
This
more?
is breaking news that we really didn't get into today, and now I got to do a big deal about it. Even though we're overtime, we have the names of the franchises for the XFL announced.
No.
Yes, this is the XFL. I don't have their theme song, but I'll use this instead, ladies and gentlemen. How many franchises in the XFL coming? February 2020, Robin. We have the names of the teams. Make sure to get your complimentary T-shirt. No, you better go to the stores right now. Go to fanatics.com and get your Dallas Renegades. It's a guy in a mask. He looks like an Antifa dude with red eyes, though. So we're going to have the Dallas Renegades, Robin. Houston Roughnecks. Those bastards. Isn't that violent? Isn't that teaching violence to kids, calling teams roughnecks? That's just not nice.
Actually, here, I can
The
pull them up.
L.A. Wildcats, Robin. L.A. Wildcats.
Here we go. There they are.
Let's get all the logos out there.
Here's the logos.
Is that the San Jose Guardians? I can't see the name of the team on there. It's got a tiger
New
face.
York.
New York Guardians.
The St. Louis Battlehawks.
Robin, relax. You got to let these breathe. The New York Guardians. Don't they already have those? Curtis Sliwa runs the New York Guardians, doesn't he? The St. Louis Battlehawks. You know what their logo looks like? From Castle Grayskull.
I know, I was just going to say.
It looks like there's a sword.
And wings.
And wings outside the sword. That's, again, advocating violence. The Seattle Dragons. Not Daryl Dragon, who was with the captain and Tennille, and I believe passed away last year. Your Tampa Bay Vipers. I like the B. It looks like they basically ripped off the Arizona Diamondbacks. What's with the snakes and shit? Why would you have Tampa Bay Vipers? There's no vipers in Tampa Bay, are there?
They're not supposed to be, but there are.
See what happens? They're smuggling in more vipers.
Yep.
They're an invasive species. And then people like Dean will have to put another fence over their backyard to cover up their swimming pools so that the vipers and alligators don't come in. And finally, the D.C. Defenders.
Because, Washington, D.C. is all about defending your rights.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You want to talk about oxymorons.
Seriously.
The D.C. Defenders of what? What are they defending down there? Nothing. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Your 2020 XFL Elite 8. 8 teams. You know them, you love them. You will not be able to live without them. And you realize here in this the Northeast starting that there's only a New York team. So I'm looking in the geography here. So from New York, from Boston, from Maine, all the way down, there's 2 East Coast teams, obviously, the New York Guardians and your DC Defenders. Then you go out west, you got your LA Wildcats. You go down south, where they love them some football. You got your Tampa Bay Vipers. Seattle in the Pacific Northwest, you got 2 teams in Texas. Hello. The Dallas Renegades and the Houston Roughnecks. And finally, in Middle America, your St. Louis Blackhawks. What's your favorite logo, Robin?
I don't know.
Now, if I said I got to get one tattoo, the Tampa Bay Wombats was already taken.
You know what they sound like? They sound like roller derby names.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the Renegades, the Gladiators, the Guardians.
Either that or Sunday morning cartoons.
Yes.
It's just
the New York Guardian logo looks like it should be on a Vegas casino wall.
Yeah.
You know when you see
it's like the Sphinx up on the pyramid.
It looks like it's some sort of a bobcat. I don't know what kind of it's some sort. No, you know what that is? That's one of those saber-toothed tigers, it looks like.
But it's a sort of an amalgamation of the saber-toothed tiger and a sphinx.
Yes. And your sphincter tightens when you see that logo, and then you say, let me get a couple of those. Get some for the kids, too. I like the bloody teeth look, though.
And also the LA Wildcats, the only thing that I ever think of is that god-awful movie with
Goldie Hawn?
Goldie Hawn, the Wildcats.
Yeah, the LA, I got to say this right now. The LA Wildcats could be the ugliest logo there.
Yeah. And then the Seattle Dragons, that's just the Drexel Dragon.
That is the Drexel Dragon. Or the dragon from Game of Thrones before it hit a shit show at the end and killed everybody.
Anyway, Tony Bruno.
The LA Wildcats, by the way, I think we can all agree, Robin, is absolutely not only the worst logo, the worst nickname.
It's bad.
I mean, it's lame. I mean, there's so many Wildcats. Really? It doesn't even look... Where's the Wildcat in that LA logo anywhere? Do you see anything that looks like a Wildcat?
No.
When you see that logo, what do you think of? Nothing.
Nothing.
That's what you think of.
That's exactly
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing, zippo, nada, zero.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the Tampa Bay Rays with a walk-off wild pitch 9th inning comeback. They win the ball game. 7-6. How about that? I love when the show comes to an end on a positive note, Robin. From castration.
Oh, that was real positive, yes.
We covered it all today.
We did. We covered it all. We always do.
Exactly right.
I still had stories that I didn't even get to. That's how much content we have for you, our loyal fans, our fabulous listeners.
We have more content than we did 190 minutes of non-stop broadcast. does, as Gary Randage once said, nobody.
There's nobody else
No,
out there.
I mean,
guarantee it.
Nobody.
And we will be back again tomorrow. We'll be back at the normal time. We might be ending a little bit sooner, right?
Because we got the big extravaganza. A day-night doubleheader tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. We'll tell you more. Join us tomorrow. Don't drink and drive. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, for subscribing, for following. You'll see your names on the scroll. You get in the credits on this show. You don't get any cash, but you get credit. And credit's all that matters. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the Tony Bruno Show on BrunoNation Live. Don't forget to subscribe on the Twitch mobile app so you don't miss any of BrunoNation's hilarity and hijinks, because it is definitely must-watch radio. Of course, you can catch the archived audio on your favorite podcast app like Spreaker or iTunes. Plus, if you subscribe via Twitch, you can watch any of our archived videos.